Howdy everyone, this is BLAPPS TARK. I am Victor Evelyn, known as Sifu BLAPPS. BLAPPS stands for Better Living and Positive Propaganda System, and TARK is talking about real knowledge. Welcome. Let's get this party started right. Okay. So if you've watched my show before, you'll know that in the past, this was my theme tune, and I had to get it cleared many times on YouTube and stuff like that. But it's all good. They let me use it. And we've been going for a long time to BLAPPS TARK. We've been on Tropical FM for about 5 years, and we did about 300 shows. So I've decided to restart it, and you're the first. This year I decided to restart it, and this is the first session for this year. So, as you know, what we normally talk about is 4 sections concerning what's happening over here, what's happening over there, celebrity and community, and of course what sparks me off, things that get on me nerves, and probably yours as well, because you know I'm a roundabout guy. I'm no different from anyone else. So I'm going to make sure that everyone understands that we got to get these things off our chest and get them out in the open, and maybe we can get some respite from can I ask anyone that's in already? Paul's in. How you doing, mate? Can I ask you if you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Everything's cool. You're in.
Yeah, good.
Okay, cool.
Music was a bit choppy, but
oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, would have been nice to hear that a bit clearer. But yeah, it's all good.
I can redo it. Cool. So normally I let people chat back to me. Normally they're in a chat room and I don't hear anyone. But since I'm on Zoom now, people are going to have the ability to talk to me. But I'm going to ask you to only talk when I say the mics, when I've stopped talking about the subject and I've opened it up to discussion. Is that cool? Just nod your head. Right, the first subject we're talking about, I've got my generic background here, but the first subject we're talking about is over here, and we're talking about Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak, will he do another general election? Will he spark a general election this year? And first of all, we've got to talk about why he's actually in government. It's because of Liz Truss failed after Boris Johnson failed and was thrown out, and we've got Rishi Sunak by default, basically, and the people that asked him to take over were the rich elite who wanted to make sure that their power kept the way they wanted it. So they're in charge all the time, and we suffer for it. The trampled upon, the proletariat. So we see Rishi Sunak giving us another year of absolute tyrannical behaviour that we'd normally look at as a despot doing and say, no, we're not going to allow that. We're going to allow you to run the country to the fullest of your ability and to make everyone happy, not to crush people and to make us determined to making life decisions, as Cat Williams used to say at the petrol station. You're making life decisions whether to put fuel in your car or food on the table, whether to pay the electricity bill or your fuel bill, or have food or have heating or go hungry. Inflation's up again. It's supposed to be going down. If he's thinking about a general election, it will be been wanting to put the inflation down. Look what I've done. Look how well I've been doing. He'll be wanting to sort out the problem in Gaza, and not keep it going for his own coffers, for his own money. His businesses make money and profit from keeping us trampled upon, struggling, and profits his people that beef him up, the people that keep him going, the people that he wants to keep going are the guys that have shares in these companies. That's what, and sponsors, donators. It's not keeping us happy. He doesn't care about us. We're just an afterthought to him. So we've got to understand that. So my question is this: should what he's doing spark off a general election? And I think yes. He's not out there to make sure that we're going to be. He knows basically that he's out when a general election starts. He's out. He's going to be voted out, even if we may not like Keir Starmer, who took over from Jeremy Corbyn, because Jeremy Corbyn had things to say about Israel, and which was ridiculous as well. So that's obviously a long thought out plan to take over from Jeremy Corbyn, because he's too strong, and we wanted him. And the Labour Party was trying to get more a conservative look, a little bit more shuffling to the right, to make the voters who voted Conservatives in twice in a row, and that's why they've been there so long. Is it 3 times? It's 3 times, isn't it? 3 times. So Labour was asking themselves, why are we always losing? It must be because Jeremy Corbyn, he's far too socialist, far too. He cares about people too much. It's not profitable. We need to have something more towards the right, so people can see that we're about business. We're about expanding what's going on for Britain overseas, and we're after Brexit we can do something. We're still business people, and it didn't work out basically for him. So now they put in Keir Starmer. Or Keir Starmer thundered his way in, threw some bones, and got himself in. And now we've got that as an opposition to Rishi Sunak, and Rishi Sunak knows that it doesn't matter who is running Conservatives, they're not going to be in the next election. It's pretty much a certainty that after 12, 13 years of running the government, and every problem that we've got, we can now assign to you. You can't blame it on Labour because they ain't been around. You can't blame it on Liberals. You can't blame it on the Green Party. You can't blame it on no one else but yourself. And you're what word can I come up with? Your lackluster leaders, your below par leaders. I'm trying to be nice here. You can see this, but when we think about who we want next to run the government, and we don't like the person that is representing us, we have to say better than anything is better than that. Let's just go with the other party. Now, I'm not sure if I've got any Conservative listeners or anyone that understands what it is to be a lifelong Labour Party member or voter, but I do know that we are all suffering. I do know that even rich people are suffering. So there's got to be something said for what's coming next. So that's all I've got to say to that. We're at the end of the 3 sessions, the 3 things we're talking about on the show. I'm going to leave it open, the mics, to if anyone's in the rooms, they want to talk about this, they can come on, hit the mic button and come in and make a comment on it themselves, and we could chat. So we could have a discussion point after we've talked about each one. After I've talked about each one. Back in the day, I used to be having a lot of music and stuff playing, and I used to get flagged up for it when I was doing it on YouTube. So I stopped it for a while. When I was with Tropical, they had the license and everything, so it didn't matter. I could play what I wanted. But I have to be careful now. I get my stuff taken down, and it's a bother. So I'm decided, because we are at a point where, you know, straight after COVID, when COVID started, people were starting to ring me up, and within a month or two, they were ringing me up and asking for advice how to get through this, and what do you think is going to happen, and blah blah blah. And things just started going crazy in terms of electricity. And then Russia started against Syria, and then we were all told, oh, it's the transport links, it's the petrol, it's the fuel, it's the gas prices all going up because, you know, everything's being blocked, and we got to put restrictions on what we sell and buy from Russia and stuff like that. So that's why everything's going up. And then you started seeing bread prices go up, flour not being available in the shops, only can buy a certain amount of eggs. It was getting silly. And then COVID kind of ended a year or 2 later, and we were let back out, and we were still getting the price hikes until the government had to step in and give us what was it, the help, you know, a handout to help us with what they call it, the payments, the cost of living payments. I don't know why I had brain fog there, but the cost of living payments. And yeah, people were like, yeah, okay, yeah, you give us back a little money, £300 or something, and then you get another one in about 2 months, 3 months, and then like, everyone's getting vexed. They're giving payment. It's like, okay, cool. But you can't do this forever. And they couldn't. And now the payments have stopped, I think. I think the payments have stopped. So you got on, let me just put this out. You got to see from the point of view of the people that no matter how many people voted for you the other 2 terms for your party, that your party is now responsible, no matter if there was a COVID problem, no matter if there's a war problem, no matter if there's finance, you know, inflation problem or Brexit problem, your party was there throughout the whole of that. And so therefore it's a problem with you guys. You're not running the country properly. So I feel we should write a petition, get it going. Yeah, get the media talking about a general election and get it going, make it happen, because he's got to go. We've got to have something different. He's not a special guy. He's not doing anything remarkable. He's just keeping his people rich. Talk about Rishi Sunak here. And I had a picture of him to put up. You could put him up. In fact, why not? Nice picture of him. That won't go up. Oh, that's crazy. Oh well. So we're talking about over here at the moment, what's happening in British Isles, blah blah. And the big news is about Rishi Sunak. The big news I want to talk about is Rishi Sunak. Should we spark of a general election to get him out of the way? Because basically he's run the country into the ground, in my opinion. And I'd like to know if anyone else has got an opinion on it. So the mics are now open. You may talk as you wish. Anyone in the meeting right now can make themselves known if they want to talk. I wouldn't mind you switching on your cameras. If you don't want to switch on the camera, that's fine. No problem. Hello. How you doing, Caroline? How you doing, Paul?
All right, go on, Carol, you go.
No, listen, I want to be honest with you guys. I haven't got a clue. I'm not into politics or nothing. So you guys are teaching me something. So I'm just listening to what you're saying, really. Karishnu, I've got no clue.
Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the UK. Yeah.
I'm going to be...
that Asian-looking dude. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, I've got no clue, yeah.
You know, the guy that looks like a
the Indian guy.
teacher.
The Indian guy, yeah. I've got no idea.
He's actually nearly a billionaire. And he's running us all into the ground. Well, like we got 10 pence left in our pocket, he's scratching the hem of your pocket trying to get it. So what do you think, Paul?
Okay, so
stay still, man. What are you
doing? So should we? Okay, based on what Rishi Sunak has produced in his term so far, should we spark a general election? Personally,
will he spark a general election, or do you think he's got far too much to lose? Because the question comes from, we're at war now. No matter how much we're just sending aid over. Oh yeah, they're our allies, so we're just sending aid over. We're at war. It's Britain and the UK and America sending over bombs for Israel to throw at Gaza. Okay, so war keeps them in a job until it's over.
Listen, but do you believe that, I'm going to ask you a question, do you believe he's actually making the decisions, or he's just a puppet?
The PM decides where the war effort goes.
So you believe he's making the decision, really?
It's not about belief. That's
what's happening.
That's how it works.
Well, Carol makes a good point, because that's kind of what I was going to say. Like, at the end of the day, like, what's the alternative? So, you know, me personally, sparking a general election and who coming, Keir Starmer coming in or Labour, because in reality, we've only ever got two choices between Conservative and Labour, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, but sometimes Liberals come in and
we know that.
Make a hassle.
Yeah, but in general, we know it's not, when you've only really got two choices, prescribed choices, it's not really a choice at all. So in a sense, what difference is Labour and Keir Starmer going to make? So, you know, would you think Keir Starmer would have made decisions any different to Rishi Sunak, especially in terms of the war? So when Carol says, is Rishi Sunak really making his own his decision with no influence?
Well, so yeah, it's like, you got to think, is there an agenda? Is there an agenda?
Well, he's got an agenda, is to make his people richer.
Has he got an agenda, or is there an agenda that's is in place anyway?
I think it's bigger than Rishi Sunak's personal gains or his friends' personal gains. BLAPPS.
I see. When you're talking about the responsibility of how everything goes for him to stay into power, because they got rid of Boris Johnson, who was strong at the time he was in the job, and then they said, "Well, no, you're messing up far too much, so you got to go," and he would cling with gritted teeth onto power. And so even when he was going, all right, I'm going to go, he's still like, you sure you want me to go? Oh, okay, cool. Wait. I'm just going to go pop over to Greece. Anytime I come over, yeah, you let me know if you need me, yeah? All right, cool. And he was back. As soon as they said, he'd turn up to this meeting or something, he was back. So he didn't want to go. And then as soon as he had to go, they put in someone like, just as a, let's vote and see who we like for a minute while we're temporary. And Liz Truss was like a temporary thing before Sunak was voted in. So,
I'm gonna. Do you know what? I haven't
he wants to
voted
stay in power.
for about 5 years because my stand on it is I just think it's a load of rubbish, and I just.
You're the problem. You're the problem. Okay.
Am I the problem, or
I'm playing.
no? I think. Am I the problem, or is it just a game where? Do you know what I mean? They're just going to see where you lie. I haven't voted for about 5 or however many years, and someone come knocking at my door saying you haven't voted. I was like, I haven't.
That's right.
Well,
you don't have to vote.
Yeah, why haven't you voted? Because I don't want to. What's your name? None of your business.
I trust none of the above. Why should
Yeah.
I? Yeah,
Right.
but it's like when you at the poll station. Sorry, mate. What were you using?
Yeah, I was going to say something, but you carry on.
Well, I was going to say it's not unusual that people say, I can't bother. They're only going to do what they want anyway. We don't really matter. We're just given the thought. We're just given the feeling that we matter and our vote goes somewhere and people pay attention to what we don't like and like. But, you know, it's if you're going to talk about agenda with any politician, the answer is yes. Have they got an agenda? Yes. They're politicians. They've got an agenda.
So does it matter then really if we vote or not? Because whatever the agenda is, they're going to do it anyway.
You know, it's a democratic system. And if the only threat we've got is that we can take away your job if we all vote together and they listen to it, then we should use that weapon. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a weapon.
I agree, right? Like voting is important, but in certain circumstances. So what I mean is, you know, the power of the vote, the collective vote, you can have an influence, especially locally. You can only really look at politics locally first. Forget the general election. You want to influence the local council and politicians in your area.
Always.
You understand? In order, end of the day, to check if you want to change policy or if you want to influence where money gets spent. And this is where we fail because we don't participate. So it's really important. If we could vote collectively to try and help bring about change, it would definitely be a good direction to go in. So I understand what Carol's saying about the general election, you know, but as far as locally, we can definitely have some kind of change or influence locally. So yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't use our local PMs to get a bill posted in Parliament to say my people in my constituency want this to happen. They've talked to me, I've listened, I'm approaching you to get it done now, because if I don't, I lose my job. You know what I mean? I get eyes on me that I'm not doing my job, so I won't be voted in another time. You know, so yeah, it does make absolute sense to approach it at local MP on all kinds of things. For the little that park hasn't been painted in 3 years, to why is it we've still got knife crime going on, which I'm going to be talking about later. But why is it you're not doing anything about hostels, and why are you not doing anything about immigration? But you could go as deep as you want, because all these things impact on the community where the MP is supposed to be covering his area. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. So we'll leave that for now. We're just going to go on to the next.
Let me just
You
touch
want
on
to say,
one more.
You got more?
Yeah.
Right, cool, man.
I just want to touch on, you know, you was talking about basically people are suffering. Majority of us are suffering, and you're kind of pushing the blame on Rishi Sunak, where I'm kind of with Carol in saying that to me it doesn't matter who's in the seat, no matter which party's in the seat, because to me it's bigger than the Prime Minister or the actual party, because at the end of the day, it's almost economic policy. So based on economic theory and economic policy, look at okay, for an example, what I'm saying is look at what happened to Liz Truss and look at what happened to, if you contrast Liz Truss and Jeremy Corbyn with,
I bet you can't remember the person that went after Liz Truss. Or was it the one before Liz? The one just before Liz Truss? What is it?
Oh, was that?
What's his name?
Oh,
You
yeah.
remember him.
I don't even remember him. I think I remember his face, but I can't remember his name.
It was just like 1 month. He didn't even last longer than cabbage or something like that. Lettuce or something.
But all right, let's look at Jeremy Corbyn. He
Right.
was to see his policies were mainly to support working class people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when they spoke about what was that phrase they used to repeat about kind of inclusivity, where they was trying to spread the wealth further up north. I can't remember the terms they used to use all the time, but you could see his policies was going to more help the working class people. And now when you look at the fight against that, when you look at how they abused Jeremy Corbyn over all these policies and some of the things
as soon as
said.
he says something a little radical, they jumped on top of his. We can't have you as our
Look
leader.
at the media, right? So you could. It's not hard to see that government policies, especially economic policies, fiscal policies, they all point to suppressing the working class and supporting the markets. The same thing will happen with Liz Truss. Some of her, one or two of her radical policies got her kicked out because that wasn't supporting the market and sort of, you know, the richer entrepreneur type people that, you know. So to me, to me, it seems like whoever's in power has no choice. Do you understand? It's like the influence of lobbyists and these high-earning companies. If you're not on board with them and to support, you know, their model, then you're going to be out at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So Liz Truss didn't have the confidence of the sponsors that, you know, normally support their party, so she had to go. It's not about really, are you going to do better for the country? It's, are you going to do better for the company?
Yes, exactly.
And the company is the government. So it's not
and
like.
Can you see Keir Starmer being any different? He ain't being
no,
different.
But Keir Starmer is a lawyer. He's a civil rights lawyer. So, you know, better he's in than some corporate, you know, gangster, basically. I'm not calling him a gangster, but I think it's a bit too harsh to call Rishi Sunak a gangster. But he's all about his corporate business.
So would you be expecting something different then?
I would expect us to have a different viewpoint and a different method to go forward, because under Sunak, I know it's not going to be better for us. That's personally what I think. But this is why I'm asking the question: do you think he'll even entertain trying to find out if the people actually want to keep him in power?
Well, I don't think. I think it's hard to say. Again, like Carol, I haven't really been following. But I would say it's probably not in his interest to do that, because he'll be out the door quick. He needs to hold on to that seat as long as possible. If he, you know, so it's better he don't do that, because at the end of the day, you can see. Well, I don't follow it much, but anytime I do see it, it's always someone's. It's always some headline about Rishi Sunak, about how bad he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So you can.
He's never got something positive. There's nothing positive to remark about it. All the news stations want to.
I don't think that's an accident. I don't think that's an accident.
There you go.
You know, he'll probably be better than Jeremy Corbyn. I mean, Keir
what
Starmer.
Did you say? Wash your mouth out.
He'll probably be better than Keir Starmer.
Well, we don't know, do we?
Right, let me not say that.
We've only seen them row. We've only seen them row against each other in the comments. So we see Keir Starmer obviously knows what he's talking about. He obviously has ideas of how we can proceed. But we need to get him in power so we can get them done. So it can at least mess up. And so we can find out, oh, we made a mistake. We'll get him out the next 4 years. But even the first 4 years is not long enough to change or undo the rubbish that has been left behind. You know, the damage that has been left behind by these people. And that's 12 years of damage. You know what I'm saying? So if you had 8 years, we'll probably see something that's happening properly in terms of changing everything from the bottom up, not from the top down. You know what I mean? From the bottom up. after about 6 years. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The trouble is, there's a bigger issue. You know, like I said, it doesn't matter who sits in the seat. You know,
look at the NHS.
Go on.
Look at the NHS.
Mm.
It's on its last legs because these people, they want it totally privatized. That's why they've run it into the ground.
Of course it is. Even
yeah, no. See, when all the strike action was happening, you saw the start.
Still happening. Right,
it's still happening, right? But what I'm talking to the initial, when they initially kicked off and the government's reaction to it. The government's reaction to it was awful, right? I know. Obviously,
he was trying to be like Thatcher, basically.
From a negotiation perspective, I understand why they took that stance, because at the end of the day, it's like vote. It's like bid high, one bid high, one bid low. So obviously, they came in asking for a high percentage, and the government was just like, we're not even going to discuss it. Which, you know what I mean? So maybe they had to hold that stance and slowly, as a tactic, as a strategy, to slowly.
He had to show that he was powerful, that he's got a backbone, he's going to stand up to the unions, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
It's a Thatcherite movement, a motive, and I don't see that it worked.
It goes beyond Thatcher. It goes past Thatcher, doesn't it? It goes back to...
She made it famous, isn't it?
There's a book I'm going to give you to read, Black, or look at. It's called Capital Order.
Okay. Is it your book?
Capital Order, how austerity paves the way to fascism. So
yeah, I've heard of this book.
Right. Oh, the book is mad. It's brilliant. I might send you some links on the author.
Okay.
But I've watched a few of her videos, and she breaks down the whole thing, and she talks about how what you're seeing in government started in the 1920s and before. And basically, she's saying austerity is the basis of capitalism. Like, austerity and capitalism go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So how things are is not an accident. So it doesn't matter who's
to keep on struggling and striving enables all the rest.
Right. So it doesn't matter who's in power, because they're all being advised by, see, the economic theory and economic policy is the foundation for how the system works. Do you understand how the wealthy are supported, or wealth is transferred from the majority to the minority? Yeah. So like when they're talking about budget cuts, right? They don't cut spending on the war effort, do they?
No,
you know what I mean?
And this is the simple facts. This is simple facts of everything.
Right.
Is that 2.7 billion can go to Israel to buy bombs and stuff like that, but we can't support the NHS. That's why we can't do nothing about it.
Exactly.
Money, I'm broke. Got no money.
Exactly. Yeah. And
you want to say something about the NHS, didn't you, Karen?
No, it's gone.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. It's okay. Go on.
Paul brutalized you, man.
Sorry. I apologize.
Right.
That's cool. Carry on, Paul.
So she also talks about neoclassical economics. Is it neoclassical economics? I can't remember the term, but sort of the economic theory that influences or directly reflects our economic policy is based on austerity and capitalism. So, things are never. It doesn't matter who's in power. Things are not going to change in that respect, especially when prime ministers are taking or they're getting their advice from technocrats that come up with these economic theories and policies, and it's always about transferring, wage suppression, and especially when it comes to the unions. There's always been what happened in the 1920s. What she speaks about, sorry, I don't want to talk too long, but she speaks about after the World War I effort, people were earning high wages, and they started to form these workers' unions because they recognized that capitalism wasn't the norm. You didn't have to have capitalism, so they tried to fight against it, and that's where they brought in austerity to try and remove that fight, these workers' unions and stuff. So yeah. So
I
see
take
what we're
away the
going
strength.
through now is nothing new, you know.
No. All right, cool. So we've got, like I said, we always got 4 subjects to talk about when we do BLAPPS TARK.
Yeah.
And it's always about over here, over there, celebrity and community, and what sparks me off. So we're going to move on to the next subject. And I'm going to ask you to turn off your mics while I chat about it. Thank you very much, everyone. Cool. Now, in over there, we're talking about the Gaza conflict. And it's going to be... Oops. What's happened to my view? What's going on? Oops. Okay. That's strange. Okay. Yeah, the Gaza conflict. Israel versus Palestine. I have always said it, you know, when it first sparked off, and October the 6th. October the 6th? I think it was October. And there was an attack by Hamas. Oh yeah, they're at war now, and I was like, "What are you talking about? They're at war now? They've been at war since 1948. It's not unusual to see them. You know, when anyone politician has says, "What do you want for the world?" They want peace in the Middle East. That's what they were talking about. They were talking about those two people, Israel versus Iran, Jew versus Muslim or Islam. So it's always been the same. It's people think it's a religious war. Some people think it's a political war. I feel, why is this happening? I keep disappearing. Okay. Issues with my camera here. All right. Excuse me while I sort this out. What is going on? Okay, I'll carry on like this. It's a conflict that has been sparked from after World War II, and Israel wanted to find a place, wanted to get recompense for their involvement in making America get into the war, which saw the end of World War II, the bombing of Japan, and Germany falling to, couldn't fight Russia in the winter. And this is all about recompense for their involvement in the war in terms of funding. Britain asked them to get involved. Britain was running Gaza at that time for 1917, I think it was. After the Ottoman Empire, they acquired that strip of Gaza, and they asked Israel, "What can we do for you since you helped us out in World War II to get a win over these people?" And they said, "We want to have our motherland, as read in the Bible and in the Torah, to be Israel." Now, I've done research on religion since I was in single digits, as requested by my dad. He said, but I've been interested in all the stories and the reasons why people at war and blah blah blah. But it wasn't talking about war when I was researching at 9. I was just trying to find something out about religion. But now, as I grew up, and everyone's talking about it, and now we've got to this conflict, it's quite obvious that they are occupiers of a parcel of land that belonged to Palestine, and they are occupiers. Now, we all know, as fellow former descendants of former slaves, that we were ostracized and we were taken over, and we had colonizers come in and take our stuff and say that it's theirs now, and our history has been wiped out, and a replacement of our history has been put in, and our culture and stuff like that has been defamed and made irrelevant. And they are the masters of us now because they got more money, they got more muscle in terms of bombs. They could just come in and take over whatever they want and say it was always ours. I used to understand that Israel was literally a whole of Africa when we're talking about in the Bible. So when they were saying this is their Israel, this is Israel for the Jews, the Israelites, I had to frown again and say, Israelites, you're not the original Israelites. They are Jewish, as the joke goes. They're not the original Jews. The original Jews were Africans. So, or people all over Africa, because Israel is where the Israelites live and they're Africans. So it made sense to me. So I had to go in to find out Hasidic Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, find out which Jew, where they come from, Russia, they come from Germany, where they come, the Caucasian Mountains. I had to research it and listen to other people and where they're coming from and why do they dress like that when they don't look like the African Israelites that are trying to get into the country of Israel, as to say this is our motherland too. And the Jews, the Jewish that are there are saying, no, you're not. You're not the original Jews. We are. And I'm like frowning. And then the Palestinians are fighting back because of how they are getting oppressed. And now we have conflict. The understanding that I am getting from the attack that happened a few months ago is Israel are shocked. Oh, they attacked us. They're doing terrorism. This is what we've been talking about for 70 years. This is why we've been trying to say to you, we're trying to get a resolution to this, but these people are unreasonable. They just attacked us out of the blue. Now I've got to understand. I understand that there's a thing called the Iron Dome, which is a technological shielding which shoots down weapons that are fired into Israel. I also understand that America has more munitions, as in storage in Israel, than any other site around the world. And they have over 800 forts and camps around the world, and most of the ones with the biggest cache of weaponry is in Israel. And Israel is 7 million, 9 million strong of people. There's more people live in London than in the whole of Israel as Jews. So I was like, why are they so protected? What's going on? Who's protecting them? Who's their big man? America, UK. And so you go back in history, why are they protected? And so you go back to the war, you go back to how they involved America after Pearl Harbor and blah, blah, blah. So it's a big history. I don't see that they're going to stop until they've obliterated every Palestinian that they can see. America are very frustrated because they look bad for supplying weapons to people that are causing genocide now. They've been ruled in South African court that they committed genocide and war crimes, and their excuse, Israel's excuse, is because they attacked us, we're going to wipe them off the planet, which is despot talk. That's talk of someone who's doing ethnic cleansing. It's not just a retaliation for a war crime by a terrorist group. As soon as they got attacked, they were saying it's terrorism, because now you can equate in the news terrorism equals animal, which means we can't reason with them. We have to kill them all. They're less than human. we have to go with the narrative that we've always been taught to use when it comes to people we don't like. So when Gaza is complaining, oh, you're bombing our hospitals and bombing our Israel goes, nah, they're hiding underneath the hospital. We know this. And that, so it's their bad that they're hiding under children that are sick, and women, men that's, you know, sick and stuff like that. But we've got to bomb the place because we know we're going to get it later on. If we don't bomb it now, we're going to get another attack of the same kind again. But the facts are these. I don't watch the news, well, only the news that comes out from our countries or the allied countries. I watch the enemy's news. And I watch people that are not in line with the way Israel are doing things. And so now I know that what I'm saying, I've been given the knowledge. I don't know, but I've been given the knowledge that the people that originally that built the tunnels that they're supposed to be hiding in are the Jews, the Jewish. They built the tunnels. They built the command centers underneath the hospitals. They did all that, and then the Hamas moved into them when they found them, and they've been there for years, and they've been in the tunnels storing all their equipment for years. And these tunnels are not just like Vietnam, ching, 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 we can crawl through this tunnel to get to another part of town. No, these are 40 feet wide, massive structured tunnels, proper tunnels that you can drive stuff through, and you can live there, no problem. It's very well produced, very well built. Everything's been there for years, and it's all built by Israel. How do we know this? Let's just think it through. If you are people that have no money, you don't have you don't have control over your electricity, you don't have control over your water, you don't have control of food that's entering your prison camp, then who would be building things like this? Who's giving the money? Oh, it's Iran. Iran can't be doing it because their money is under close scrutiny because no one wants them to have a nuclear retaliation. So a nuclear response to basically Jewish response, or American an attack, or UK attack. So yeah, they're trying to limit what they can do with their nuclear plants. They're making sure, remember, they're always inspecting their plants and stuff like that. So they're under very close scrutiny. Another place that is under close scrutiny is Israel itself. Like I said, it's one of the most protected places on the planet. There's satellites looking down on a 2p on someone, a 2p on someone's shoe. They could see if it's heads or tails. They watch it all the time. So when this surprise attack happened, it was in a 2-hour blackout where no one's watching anything. Oh, they could cut through fences, and they can fly over in hang gliders. And I'm like, what? Where? It's like you're breaking into a bank that's been protected 24/7 for 40 years that no one has managed to penetrate ever. Oh, after millions of attacks, and suddenly there's a 2-hour gap where they're okay. I can't see you. Go ahead. I can't see you. And so they come in, and I think, with my cynical self, this is me saying it, right? that it was planned by the Jewish, by Israel. They planned it so they could do a retaliatory attack and wipe them out. They're fed up of talking. They're fed up of all the batter, bitter, and so therefore they wanted to end it. Now, I've said my piece, what I think. Now the question is, do you see it ending? I personally don't. I don't see it ending, and not unless there's no more Palestine left. Do you? And another question is, because UK and America are so embarrassed of the support they're giving to people that are committing genocide, what kind of blowback are they going to get from this? I want to know what you think. Okay, anyone out there got an opinion, or shall I just continue chit-chatting? People, your mics are back.
I was waiting for Carol to come in because I spoke a bit too much last time.
No, speak, because this is not my topic. I feel like I need to debate it. So you talk away.
This is
something to say, definitely.
Do you know what? This is not really my topic either. So I'll probably be more. You obviously seem very knowledgeable on it, so I'll probably ask you some questions. But I mean, my understanding was it was always about land. Obviously, you went in depth about it and how Britain's occupation, or the Britain asking the Jewish or the Jewish state. Were they a state? Were they a state at that time?
No, they wanted to create a state of Israel.
Yeah, so they weren't a state at that time when they were helping.
They were just a people they were people disenfranchised from their own community after World War II.
Where did they? Why did they
Germany,
not have
Russia?
Why? Right. So, what's their origins?
Ashkenazi. There's two kinds of Jews. There's but basically these are the ones that were living in Russia and Germany. So these are the ones where you go to London and you see them with the hats and
the black, all the black.
They got two dreadlocks. They got two dreadlocks all empty there. But the original Israelites look like Palestinians do now.
Right, but so we're talking about the Jewish of today. Where did they come from? What's their origin?
The devil. No, joking. Listen, yeah, but the Jewish run everything, right? From the music.
Hold on, you can't say that. Look, come on now.
Listen, you must know that they run everything. You must know that, Victor, right?
I'm just trying to be correct here. You're just trying to be PC and keep my channel going.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
I'll play it. I'll give it down. What you say? You carry on.
No. Cool. I know nothing.
So hold on. So do their origins go back to the exile, the biblical story of them being exiled? Why?
Yes.
How many centuries later?
Yes.
Or 1,000 years later,
they've got the Torah. Now you can start. The Torah is 2,000 years old. Come on. Right, it's over that. It's 3,500 years old, apparently, even when Moses was around.
So them ending up in Germany, Russia, is based on the exile from their land from back then.
Let me get deep.
Why they've got no land.
Let me get deep with you, right? Let's go back to Moses. Yeah, I'll get that deep. I'm going back to Moses, okay? Moses apparently got instructions from God and power from God. The Spirit of God, he could do all these things to Pharaoh. Now, which Pharaoh are you talking about? No one ever talks about that. Which Pharaoh are you chatting about? It's Ptolemy I, the first, yeah? And he was, of the Greek essence, right?
Yeah.
So now when he was trying to get Pharaoh, God hardened Pharaoh's heart and Pharaoh was like, no, come on to me, yad. Right? And Moses was like, okay, if you allow, I was grown up here, you grew me up here, all my instruction came from you, I was in these schools. I was brought up in these schools, Egyptian school. He was taught how to ride chariot. He was taught how to bring it. You see what I'm saying? How to fight. Everything. He was educated in the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at. He was taught that. That's where you get the 10 Commandments from. You understand? So now, when we're talking about that Moses, he didn't have no people. He was dashed out because he killed someone. He murdered someone, soldier. He ran away, went to live with these people who were apparently the Israelites at the time, the Hebrews. And then he come back and said, yeah, let my people go, right? And Pharaoh's like, what are you talking about? People, they love me. They built this, look at all this stuff around me. They built all this because they love me. He's talking about now they're God's people. They're God's chosen people. He was just trying to get people to follow him. And his stuff he was talking about after he smoked weed. Because I talk about this with Carol. Burning Bush, you know, it's a joke, isn't it? Burning Bush he was chatting to was actually,
all right.
he was like,
You joke.
you're slow, man. You're slow.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. All right.
Right. So anyway, he chatted about it, and he's like, "Go about your business, man. We're not scared of you." And he's like, "All right, my God's bigger than your God, yo, and I'll come back and prove it. I've got this rather correction." And so he dashed it down, and it turned into a snake. And told him, it was like, my people could do that. Dash down theirs and snake, and his killed their snakes. And he said, "See, you're going to get 10 more of these things. They're just warnings. And I'm going to show you how powerful my God is." And we all know what happened next. Okay. So eventually, has come out of my yard, and they went across the river, and escaped by putting away, you know, all that stuff. You know. Anyway, now I've done my research, and I've talked to a lot of people about this. Moses didn't exist, apparently, and the whole story is made up to tell stories of men back in the day, and they use other people who did exist to tell the story to give it more, you know. He must have existed because that guy existed, and they're talking about him as well. So I can say Spider-Man exists, definitely. I went to Comic-Con and shook his hand, right? And Spider-Man lived in New York, so therefore we all know New York exists. So Spider-Man definitely is real. We could do that. That's exactly the same thing they did for Moses. Now you can say with great power comes what?
Oh, great responsibility.
Where did you get that from? Was it from Moses? No, you got it from Spider-Man. You got that from Spider-Man. So you know, it's written in the Bible. It's massive. It's important. But it's, you know, I read stuff about superheroes all the time, and I say I can quote stuff about Batman. They taught me a lot of stuff. And then 2,000 years from now, Batman is going to be a god. Believe that. Believe that. Batman's going to be a prophet. He's going to be a god, right? Because everyone's reading the books, and they've got no way of verifying any of it.
Mythology at the end of the day.
Mythology at the end of the day.
Not necessarily historical.
And I'll tell you who wrote the mythology. There's a person called Dorotheus of Sidon. Write it down. Dorotheus, as it sounds, of Sidon. Dorotheus of Sidon. He wrote a book about the stars' movements because he would write didactic poems, which are teaching poems, like Richard of York goes back and very like a didactic, you know, using poems and stuff to teach children, stuff like that, right? So you wrote didactic poems that explained the movements of the stars, because everything about there's 12 systems, 12 cosmological systems, Virgo, Cancer, blah blah. These things have been going on for 40,000 years. Sumerians invented it, all that kind of stuff. And so the naming of the star systems has been logged for thousands and thousands of years. And so he decided he's going to be real clever and write down a story that would like put Ares as a god of war, and he had a fight with this guy who it was Cancer, but he's an actual you see what I'm saying? So all the stories get,
of course,
right? Yeah. So people would remember them because they got no TV, they got no radio, they got no entertainment. So campfire stories and looking at stars is all they could do. Anyway, we're coming back to modern times now, and they're saying they're the original people that God wanted to save. And now obviously you've got Christianity coming after that in the New Testament, tried to clean up the mess from the Old Testament, you know, stone your child. You can have, you know, if your child gets raped, you can 50 shekels and it's all good, and he has to marry the youth. And, you know, it goes on and on and on. And they had to say, apologize for. They do apologetics and explain away why God murdered everyone on the planet, but is yet still a benevolent God. And he wipe out everyone with water and save only 8 people, and he's still cool. How does that work? I don't get it. Babies died in that. Babies and pregnant women died in that flood. Okay, let's just get that completely clear. But the fact is, I've always had a problem with these stories because they contradict each other. You see what I'm saying? So I have to keep asking questions to anyone that says they know, and then ask them the difficult questions of which I never get proper answers to. Come down to the 21st century where they're still arguing about where they came from. They're still trying to prove they're the original Israelite. They're still trying to say this country is ours, this land is ours. I've actually got a brilliant cartoon I could send you a link to, which sings about, from Sumerians, people of Gilgamesh and everywhere, all the way up to present day, right up to the Ottoman area, through the Ottoman area, right up to the time where Jewish are now owning Palestine. It's a brilliant cartoon, and I'm going to send that to you. I'll send the link.
Cool.
It's called "This Is My Land." Cartoon. It's very funny. And so, yes, now they're still arguing over it, and now you've got to say, can't they just talk it out and live a two-state land? Make a two-state land.
Solution.
But Israel are all in. All their chips are all in. Because this is their God, their God's chosen people's land. So if you got two-state, that means God was wrong. God originally meant you to have two states living in that land.
My perception has always been.
Do you see what I'm saying?
My perception has always been that.
Well, sorry, what? Hold on to what you're gonna say. I just want to make it real quick. If I think we lost Caroline.
Oh.
If Moses went up, you're back. Cool. If Moses went up the hill, talked to God, chipped out the 10 commandments, come down, yay, and they goes, yeah, what you got to say then? What's God saying? What's that calf doing over? Yo, destroy that idolatry business there. We're not that anymore. We're God's people, man. Go, all right, what has God got to say? Well, my bad, our bad. What we got to do? Right, we got to go over there, Canaan, and take the land. And it goes, if there's any people, there's people living in there, and they've been living there for years. What are you supposed to do with them? Kill all of them, kill their animals, kill everything, except the little Ute gal who haven't known a man. You can keep them, do what you want with them. We know what that means. And so therefore they went, and the first thing they did, 10 commandments. What's the 5th one again? Thou shalt not kill. Oh, interesting. Let's go over to that town and murder everyone there. Because it's their land. It's destined for them. So that's what this Israel conflict is all about. Israel, Gaza. There's just can we just drop here, please? Because we want to be part of the destiny of our people by being in your land. And can you move over there, please? And Gaza's like, okay. Oh, you got big brethren there, America and UK. We'll back up for a second. Can we both live here? Yeah. You can both live there as long as you back up a little bit more. Just keep backing up. And they keep taking more land and more land and more land from Gaza. So obviously they're going to fight back. And they're being
Okay, so I was of the perception that Palestine, contrary to what you just said, Palestine wanted to, let me not say wanted to wipe them out, but Palestine kind of don't really want them there, or Palestine feel like they've captured part of their land. Yeah, so exactly. They've pushed them back, and they're saying basically you're still on part of our land. So that's why they're continually fighting and starting war as well.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. The thing is that the UK said, all right, we got rights to this land. And Israel, yeah, you can have it for your promised land. It's written in the Bible, in the Torah and blah, blah, blah. They're not going to mind. We control that part there. we took it over with guns, blah blah blah, and well held it for a long time, because it's not only good for a trade route, it's also good for a military positioning, and it's also got access to Iran, and it's also got access to Egypt, and it's also got access to oil. You know what I mean? Land that's oil rich, right? So if we have our people, my brethrens from down the road are now, we'll help you to start over again over in that country. You can control it for us. And that's why you got all the munitions, you got a big wall around Israel, you got all this, you see what I'm saying? So when the Palestinians are just getting oppressed and they're getting their buildings knocked down and everything, it doesn't look like there's going to be a two-state, they start fighting back. That we're talking about not last Friday, not October, just gone, 40, 50, 70 years ago. They've been doing, so this is World War III as we know it. This has been going on for time. World War III is, I've got a group on Facebook called World War III has gone viral. World War III has gone viral. And I started a group because of COVID. Because I was thinking, you know what, this is like a world war. Everyone's against COVID, so it's a world war against COVID. So I thought it's quite clever to have that, the name of the group, World War III has gone viral because it's a virus. But now, you know, people are saying it's a technological thing, you know, the virus is a technological virus, you know, year 2K came and went, so obviously it's not that. World War III concerns every country, a problem in every country fighting against something that is basic, like resources. And that's what this whole conflict is about, protecting the resources, controlling the resources, evaporating any chance of controlling anything that you had before. You're just getting out. So America are like, no, don't bomb them. Don't bother them. Here you go, more grenades. Don't bomb them. Here's some drone planes. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Yes, TV. Hi. No, we're not involved in that. We want them to stop. But here's the bombs. We keep. It's very embarrassing for them. Yeah. So it's a problem.
So prior to Britain occupying Israel, so was that whole region called Palestine before Britain invaded? It was. Okay. So that whole region was not occupied, but yeah, they're all Palestinians living there.
Yeah. You lived in Jamaica all your life, right? And then England came over and said, get out of the way, we're taking over Kingston. And now 40 years later, we always were here. Because can't you see, every building is owned by us. Look around. You see what I'm saying? Everything is owned by us. We've got rights to do this, that, and the other, and you can't say anything. Because we've got guns to back us up. That's literally what happened. They had no right to go there. They had even signed a treaty in 68, and then that held the UN treaty for a day, and then everyone revoked it and said, no, they ain't got no rights to be there. I thought you were just saying they could go and ask if they can occupy, but now you're saying they are definitely occupying. And you know, I'm being a bit blasé about the actual thing, but basically that was it. It was ratified, and then it wasn't a day later. And Israel just said, no, we're having it, and took it. And since then, they've been fighting with Palestine. They were cool, living together while they weren't oppressing them and building over their stuff, you know, all the time, and pushing for more land and pushing for more land. But then about 20 odd years ago, more than that, about 30 years ago, they started really coming in with bulldozers and say, nah, that's it, man. We just need more land. We've got more people. We need more land. We need to take that, and that. You like get out of there. We'll sort something out for you later. And that's where the conflict just got worse and worse and worse till it spilled over into a full-on terror display. And I think that was, I personally are going to say it with my chest, I think it was orchestrated by Israel.
Yeah.
to get this party
I
started.
mean, that ran through my mind as well.
Damn.
You know,
Great. Okay.
but obviously, I don't have the background knowledge that you do, especially when it comes to their defenses and
The Iron Dome.
and surveillance. So yeah. Oh, Carol, you're coming in.
I was always here, just eating an apple.
See,
You had
Big
to turn
apple.
off your camera. You had to turn off your camera for eating an apple. That sounds
Yeah.
suspicious. That sounds suspicious. That's all right now.
I did.
What do you want to say about Gaza?
Oh.
Do you know what? I think also that I don't think I reckon it was not self. Did they do it to themselves to create a war? I don't know.
They let them come in.
Yeah.
Because they're you got to understand that their defenses are total. There's very little that goes on. Remember, they got Mossad as well, the intelligence service. Like we've got MI6 or whatever it is. What is we got? You know, James Bond and everything doing our spying. Right. We've got our anti-terrorism things, and we got all kinds of information going all over the world via fast as internet. And they didn't spot people for 2 hours cutting through hundreds of people coming in with motorbikes, everything. No soldiers there to see them happening. And you got a wall that has been built for decades, stopping them all the time. Checkpoints everywhere. You're not getting in unless they want you to come in. Yeah, and then for 2 hours, they could just come in just by cutting a fence. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Do you think that will now create a war though in America and England? Do you reckon?
What that Iran will try to hit us where we live?
Yeah.
Like Syria's hitting Russia where they live. That's strange.
Do you?
Because no, that's not going to happen. Put it this way: while these people say we're at war, they're also trading with each other. While they talk about ending the war, they're still trading. They're always still trading, unless there's an embargo. Like there's an embargo against Russia and China as we speak, but we're still doing business with Russia and China.
Who's funding the war as well? Doesn't when they get funding
for any war? If there's 100 banks in the world, 95% of them are owned by Jewish people, Jewish companies, blah blah blah. They're Jewish banks. Like people like the banks that are not owned by them are things like Gaddafi's bank. Are you hearing that? Gaddafi Bank, who was run on gold, supported by gold. Theirs is supported by the petrodollar. The petrodollar is, I made it up. I can make as much money as I want, as long as you keep thinking that we're gonna that promissory note will be paid, and then we will send you back. But we're only limited because of inflation that we made up as well. So an economic thing to keep us always in power and you always craving the petrodollar. All contracts are made under the petrodollar. So when you say, no, I want to change to gold, you're assassinated. Simple. Saddam Hussein assassinated. Gaddafi assassinated. That guy in Russia, in Syria, was assassinated, and they put in their own guy. Benjamin, I can't remember his name. Something to give B. I can't remember. But yeah, so it's always been the same thing. These people are protecting their assets, and so this war will continue as long as there's embargoes, as long as there's a direct threat on their resource. Yeah, they will continue. But Israel basically control America and Britain right now. Yeah, because America pay Israel under 90 million. This is before any like big media war you could see on the TV. In reparations, 190 million in reparations for World War II.
Say that again. Israel paid who?
They continue to pay reparations to Israel, 190 million. They got a, yeah. Where's our reparations? In Congo, 20 million people were killed in our Holocaust. Where's our reparations? We can get a penny.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the Belgian occupation.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's there's plenty of stuff going on around the world that the Jewish people, they only consist of, there's more people killed in Congo than Jews that exist in the planet today. There's about 18 million Jewish people around the world. 18 million, half of them live in Israel. The rest in America and around other countries. 18 million. If you took London and Manchester, there's more people that live in those two cities than the whole of the Israel people on this planet. The Jewish people on this planet. It's crazy, right? And yet they're protected by the complete might of America and UK. Now, as a Muslim, where do you go to fight against people of that power? You go to the highest power under your religion, which is Iran. Islam. Simple. They've been fighting for 3,000 years. Why not continue? Oh, about 1,500 years. It's the same thing. Anyway, shall we move on?
So
what?
When you say that, you're talking about Islam versus Christianity. It's
no, Islam versus
it's still go on.
Islam versus everyone.
So I'm talking the old wars, thousands of years wars.
Okay.
It's always been Islam versus Christianity, right? So maybe partly.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, because they've got differing. The Christianity deal with the Trinity, and Islam deal with just Allah. There's no father in Islam. But Christianity, you have the Trinity, the triune God, which is three aspects in one.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So they're never going to agree to that because they have to have their Jesus be the last prophet. Christianity has got Jesus and Torah has got God. Yahweh. So when you go to the Christian God, which is Jesus, then that's a different God from Islam's God. And so then, even though they know they're a derivative of the Torah, they're more in line with what the Torah says about their God, and the Jews say about the God, than they are with Christianity. Christianity was a response to the Torah, and Islam was a response to Christianity. They're all made up by men, and they've all got their book written by men. They can say where they feel that they got it from. Islam says they got it from this person. Torah says they got it from that person, and Christianity says they got it from that person. So who are you going to listen to? You listen to the person that's got the strongest story. And they all think they've got the strongest story. And the strongest story is backed up by the strongest army. And they all say they've got the strongest army.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
How's it going? Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Nice to finally meet you. How's it going?
Thank you. Oh, well, you've been watching me for a while, have you?
Well, I've been reading everything that's going on.
Okay.
So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Been
on
what,
Facebook?
Been what? On Facebook? Nah, on this group.
Oh, the new group. Okay, cool. Right.
Yeah, mate. Nah,
Caroline's
I've
group.
not been stalking you, bro. Don't worry.
Oh
It's
man.
all good. Yeah, yeah.
Do the stalker, man. It'd be all right, man. Might get a bunch of flowers or some chocolate. I don't know.
Oh, mate, nah, not yet.
Nah, not your
yet.
thing. You can be
Nah,
persuaded.
chocolate.
You can,
Chocolate's my
I see you
thing,
already
man.
coming around to chocolate. That's cool. That's
Yeah, nah.
all right. Let's see
Depends
if
what type of chocolate you like.
let's see if I'm deserving of.
Yeah.
We're talking right now of the we separate the shows that I've been doing since 2011. I've been continuing. I did it for about 5 years, every single week, 2 hours a week. 5 years, about 300
Okay.
shows, and they've been on YouTube. But I stopped, and then I've restarted this year. Okay, but I've been doing infrequent shows on YouTube, but because they're always trying to shut down what I say because I'm basically a rebel.
Yeah. The
I've
freedom
decided
fighter,
to,
man.
yeah, I'll try, but it's trying to get the truth out to the people is a damn hard job these days.
It is, because a lot of people, whether you like it or not, very easily corrupt. They use like their own impulses and desires and distractions are used against them. So it's not an easy one to do. But yeah, that's cool, man. So
yeah,
the
things that you love will kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if you love oranges,
exactly.
Oranges will kill you one day.
Yeah. Well,
that's how it works.
Everything in balance, right? I guess it's like your approach as well. I've realized that I can be a little bit like, because I've got quite a lot of energy.
Okay.
And then sometimes I realize I can be a bit too much for some people, and then
too energetic.
Yeah, and then and then I could be too chilled out. Well, you just talk too much, innit? Or you can be too quiet.
How can you be more alive than I am alive?
Hey,
that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that. I think it helps. Like,
you're loving your time.
I love
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, no, definitely. But then sometimes we get a little lost along the way, don't we? You know, I kind of like had a little bit of a epiphany today that my life could have been so much more different if I didn't make certain decisions and get distracted in certain ways. But I guess without that happening, it's giving me more like of a boost, if that makes sense. More determination.
So you and your mate were walking down the street one day and he said, I'm going left. And you said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going right. And he went left and got 2 million out of it. He found £2 million on the way home. And then you went another way and you got a wife. You had joy and blessings from your wife. And you got children and blah, blah, blah. He gambled and wasted the money and basically died of a drug overdose. Who's the better one out of this? Who made the better decision?
Myself.
When you find out about him, what would you say? Good thing I didn't turn left.
Yeah, I'd be. Well, that's the thing. Like when I look, that's a really, really good analogy for it, because that's exactly how I feel like I should have gone right a long time ago. And being, for example, loyalty to the wrong people and the wrong things land you in trouble. And
we could talk about your life and help you out, but
this show is
about this show is separated. I was about to explain.
Kind of gate crashed, and
the BLAPPS TARK show means better living and positive propaganda system, which is my nickname. As you can see, is Sifu BLAPPS, because I'm a martial artist instructor. BLAPPS, that's basically what that says, is Sifu BLAPPS. And it's my nickname, has been my nickname since 1988, and I've now made it into an all-encompassing acronym for what I'm interested in life, where I go. Right now, it's my philosophy, explains my philosophy. Better living and positive propaganda system is my philosophy. Our motto is, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. And our philosophy says that we are all one family around the planet. And the only thing that should bind us is knowledge that we are all one family. So are you in love with your family? Do you hate all your family? Which one? You accept them, don't you? Or you don't. You just don't talk to them. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, there you go. So you
That's very
accept the
true,
ones
man.
that are reasonable, and you don't deal with the ones that are, you just say, all right, go about your business. You're healthy. That's cool, and go about
Leave
your
me
business.
alone.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
just don't talk to me. I don't need that energy.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so this program here is basically to bring some quiet to your stressed out, vexed heart or head,
Yeah,
as
that's
they
good,
call it,
man.
in human terms. So we separate it in what's happening over here, what's happening over there, celebrity and community, and what sparks me off. I talk about
Hmm.
what gets on my nerves from time to time. We've done about 300 shows. I've got 300 things I'm vexed with, and the list continues to
Can I?
become larger and
Could
larger. I get
I want
sparked
to?
off real quick. So we're
Can I
now
ask a
on.
quick
We're now
question?
on over there at the moment. Sorry, cut you off. But we're now over
No,
there
that's
at
all
the
right.
moment, and we're talking about the Gaza conflict for the last 20 minutes. And so we're wondering if it's going to end. What will it end like? Because I always say at the beginning of these conflicts, this is World War III to me. It's been going on for 70 years. So I'm thinking this too shall pass. You like that? Biblical. This too shall pass. What's it going to pass on to? And so after all this is done and the conflict's ended and Israel says we got rid of all Palestinians and Gaza is now clean, ethnically clean, and we're going to deal with the genocide accusations now, but we've got rid of them, so we don't care. Or is it going to end next week? Or is there going to be a two-state resolution? What do you think?
I think now this has really stuck with me because
We got flesh in the game.
you know what? Actually, I was gonna say something, but I don't think it was the right answer.
Okay.
Because what I think is there's too much ego. I was gonna say men are too greedy, and that's one thing that Caroline said to me recently, and that's kind of stuck with me. Like I've been thinking about that recently, and like I think that's very true. It's greed, like and ego, and I think you've got two. Like it's a lot deep. It's a bit of a rabbit hole situation. It's not as simple as I think it's made out to be. I think there's a lot of different. It's like there's a rope, but it's been cut off into 4 different directions, and there's people tugging from all different directions over this one bit of land, and ultimately everyone can, I don't know, fall into the pit, or one person falls into the the people being like the countries or whatever. But yeah, I think that
So are you saying that you think it's gone too far to be resolved, or are you saying
I think
once these
religion's too
people
much. Yeah,
realize that it's not going to help anyone to continue this ridiculousness, do you think it's
I
going to
think
go that
it's
way?
gone too far, mate. If
Okay.
I'm honest with you, brother, I think it's gone too far. I think, but that's just I honestly, I'd like to think I'm quite an optimistic person, but I think the
But even
reality,
you think it's too gone too far already, even though you're
like the
optimistic,
reality,
you think it's gone
yeah.
too far.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to, yeah, but then there's some people would say there's being a pessimist, optimist, and then a realist, and then I'd like to think more like the harsh reality is that there's a lot of stubbornness and
But
ignorance,
if you
and
think
people
about
won't change.
if you
You
think
can't
about
change something.
you can change. If you got optimism and you got
Do you think? Do
pessimism,
you believe?
you've still got energy, and both of them they can still cause movement. Movement
Yeah,
towards
but
that
they,
way, and optimism moves towards that way, but it's still movement. So it's good to be
yeah,
pessimistic sometimes because it provides movement to something. We don't know if it's going to be a
yeah,
bad thing or not. If you say to me, I've got £1
yeah,
million, but I ain't going to spend it on anyone, right? And I say to you, you're not going to die happy. I'm pessimistic about your approach to your money. And you say, You know what? I'm going to die happily because I'm going to build an orphanage over there with £1 million. So my pessimism moved you to do something. You see what I'm saying? So it's still energy that moves.
Yeah.
It's like saying which energy is better, which defecation is better, gold defecation or silver defecation? Silver shit or gold shit? Which one do you want?
Yeah.
You know,
Man,
still shit. It's still shit. It's energy. So it's
So what do you think's gonna be like the next steps?
they've already made the main step, which has come from, to them, what they're saying is constant frustration that they can't settle this problem because
Yeah.
the problem is biblical,
Yeah.
meaning that it's thousands of years old. And for a problem thousands of years old to be sorted out in 2024, I don't see it happening, basically. It's going to continue. It will calm down once they've got rid of half the guards and that of what they're trying to do is to make sure there's nothing Palestinians can do to oppress them after they stop.
Yeah.
After they stop. So they're going to keep going until they're in the Stone Age. And they've got no technology or capability of attacking them on any level that is going to, cause them stress. So that's what's going to happen. We were even talking about Israel started it on purpose. Let them come in and attack them, lose a few people, and they say, "Oh, we will have vengeance. We'll have avenge the people that you've, terrorized, and so we're going to wipe you all out now. That's it. We've had enough. We tried to talk to you. Now we're going."
I've met some Israelis in my life.
Good.
Do you know what? I don't judge some people from Israel.
They don't even like it. They don't even like it. There's Jews out there that don't like it. They don't like the conflict. They think it's silly.
Yeah.
It needs to end. But who's Benjamin Netanyahu, if I pronounce that right, going to think about? He stays in power when they're at war. He will do anything to stay in power. So he's going to keep the war going. You see what I mean? He's not a liked person. He's not a, respected person to his own people. You see what I mean? But now he's at war, which is why I think Rishi Sunak wants to keep supplying weaponry and keep being in a war with the allies, because he's fighting over his own job. He's about to lose his job. So I don't think he's going to spark a general election, which is what we talked about before, this subject. And, reason why I don't.
What do you think of, now it's a little bit off topic, but, we have the US election coming up very soon.
Yeah.
That's why I said to Caroline,
it'd be coming up in November.
That I felt,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like I was saying that I felt that's why I said what I said earlier in my group. In the group, I said, in my opinion, the group's feeling like USA because there's too many. Well, it's not a bad thing, but some people do different things, which is obvious.
So you're saying that the general election is coming up. Who do you think's going to win it? Who would you vote for?
That was what I was going to ask, and then I was like, who would I
vote
for?
There's no way I'm voting for Trump. I don't care who's the other person. It could be a monkey. I don't care. I would vote for the monkey against Trump. Hell no, Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've got reasons. I've got reasons.
I'm almost.
You just won the Iowa caucus, which means who goes to find out who's on the ballot for being the primary in the election coming up. He can choose a secondary to run with him when he's president. But this shows the way that the voters might go, and he got 51%. If he got below 50%, he'd be in trouble. He's got a lot of work to do. If he got to 40% in the Iowa caucus, he would be in bad trouble. He would not be good. If he gets...
Would you be worried if one of your friends liked Trump?
I have loads of friends that like Trump. No, I'm not worried. I just think they're fairly foolish. They don't know the whole thing. They just think he's irreverent. They think he's a difference. He's made a difference, and it's just they're bought into the con. As soon as I see a con man,
he's a
I
salesman.
know a con man when I see them.
Yeah, he made the Taj Mahal. He did all of that, didn't he? When he had no money to get it, and he managed to keep the money that he borrowed money and he wasn't paying the debts to Taj Mahal.
Yeah, the
in
casino.
yeah. After he built
because there's another Taj Mahal.
Oh yeah, in India. Yeah, that's why. Look, that's part of the con. He's ingenious.
They
Like, you have
knocked
to give him. You have to
they
give him
knocked that
credit.
building down.
More in India.
They demolished. No, come on.
I was about to fucking say. Sorry, my
they demolished.
It's late.
Casino.
I'm tired. Sorry.
They demolished the casino that he owned. He's the only person that could. It's not shocking that he's got bankrupt 6 times. That he couldn't even make money from a casino. Come on, man.
Yeah.
He's a straight up con man, and people are scared of him because he's a gangster.
Yeah. I was gonna do a social experiment, and I was gonna. Sorry, my thing's going on. My thing went weird then. So I was gonna do a social experiment, and I wanted to get a MAGA hat, so I Make America Great Again.
Oh, you might get hurt, bro.
And walk through my hometown, which is Hitchin.
Hitchin, okay.
Where do you come from?
I'm Luton.
Luton, yeah. I was literally there yesterday, actually.
Cool. Which part? Road Park?
Stopsley.
Stopsley, cool. You working?
I was actually. It's another. Sounds like a silly question. I just love Caribbean food. Where's the best place to get Caribbean food from?
We could talk about we can talk about where to get Caribbean food, but this is a show about
Trump, ice cream, KFC, and everything. Zach, you must be tired, G.
We can discuss.
Hey, say that again. What did you say, Caroline?
I said you're talking about KFC to Trump to discos to social experiments to winding people up. I said you must be tired.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to get to what one of the celebrity and community, and today I'm going to ask you to shut off your mics until I finish chatting, please. Shut off your mic, please, my man. Zach?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thanks. Just your mic, you know, shut off your camera. Where's he gone? I don't know. Why you two keep disappearing and appearing? That's crazy. All right, so celebrity community talking about Idris Elba, who has made a stance. Well, he's always been talking about knife crime. He's got flesh in the game as well. So, you know, way back. And he was outside Parliament with, got a picture to show you, but this won't allow me to show any pictures. I'd sort that out for the next one. I have pictures for all these subjects. They're pretty good. But I think it's because I locked it in and then started recording. And so once you're recording, you can't change the format. I think that's it, but I'll sort it out later. So Serbian community, Idris Elba was outside the government trying to get the government to reassess their attitude towards helping the youth of today put down the knives and see a better way. And so he's trying to get involved using his platform to get people involved in groups involved more directly with getting by approaching the government directly instead of their local government. They attack the government collectively from their local government areas, to go to the government with a bill or something that puts into effect a method of dealing with people and that carry knives, especially knives, to zombie knives, machete, swords, that kind of ilk of knife. Now, speaking as a person who has been told is a cutlery expert, I've got collection, and there's no way I buy a knife, say from Comic Con or something is, you know, I buy a £50 knife was used by, it's the same as blade in a, you know, Marvel blade. And it cost me 50 quid and it's in a box and it's never gone into the public ever. Am I going to give up my sword because someone said, oh, they're illegal to own now, right? So I understand what I do with mine, and I make sure even if I'm teaching children as a martial arts instructor, I teach children how to use weapons that if they were brought in front of them, it's no point them just putting up their arms and hoping the person drops the weapon. If they defend themselves successfully and the person loses their weapon, if they have to pick out to continue defending themselves, they should be trained in using it. Once you teach children how to defend themselves against a weapon, they start to respect the power of that weapon. Yeah, they understand why people bring out weapons. They understand what's going through the person's head that's attacking them. And so they gain a respect for them. And so they never use them to violate another person. So I say train people in martial arts from their going into school. And that is why we've got the Martial Arts Anti-Bullying Collective from the CDMA, my community group, Community Development for Martial Arts. The Martial Arts Anti-Bullying Collective, MAABC, goes into schools and teaches children warriors life classes and shows them a better way. They understand the Wu Day, which is the martial code, the ethics and moral values of martial artists. They understand why they should respect their fellow humanity, and they should respect their peers, and they should respect their elders. They understand what it is to have respect, how to get it and maintain it, and they should understand who they should give it to. They should also understand that protection of human life is priority. You know, some people say in their religion that if you take one life, it's like taking all of humanity's life. And so why aren't they respecting that when they go to war against another land? You see what I'm saying? So it's a contradiction. So we don't bring them up with those kind of contradictions and inflammatory remarks. It's we teach them to respect each other and to want to gain the respect of someone else. And we also teach them communication and conflict management skills. Because if you're going to argue with someone who is out of control, who's lost their mind, is actually carrying a knife, they've got a mental affliction at that point. There's something going on in their life or in their mind that thinks they need that knife to solve a situation. So you have to get to the bottom of that as much as you can. If you can't and you have to use your martial arts to defend yourself, you should be skilled to do it so you don't lose your life. Try to save both of them. Now, with Idris Elba, there's a good chance that this may get some traction. He was outside the government with, there's a park outside the government where he laid down all the hundreds of people that have lost a life through knife crime and knife attacks, their clothing that they were wearing. My dad died in 2007. I've still got the clothing he was wearing. So I could have bought that if it's a knife crime problem and put it on the lawn outside there. And he took a picture with it. And there's hundreds of them that took up the whole park. So you can see the amount of loss that's going on. So we're talking about 1,000 odd children, people that have lost their lives over a few years to knife crime. So it's not like it's endemic or something. It's just it's getting worse, and it's getting more concentrated, and it's getting more casual. And this is what we need to nip it in the bud now. We need to change the attitude. And I could say to you myself from experience that it's because I've been stabbed and I've had to defend myself with a knife after I took it from my opponent, because I've been on the door so long, over, you know, since I was 18, 30 odd years I've been on the door, security. And so I've been attacked in every kind of conceivable way you can think of, and I've had to use my martial arts to defend myself. When you're in the mode of defending yourself, you're not thinking about courts. You're not thinking about the person's family. You're not thinking about anything but stopping them from hurting you. But when you're talking to when what I have got when I'm defending myself is the fact that I've got family, I've got children, and if you're attacking me, you're going to take them away from my children. So that means I should protect them. And when I'm defending myself, I'm protecting that, because if you get past me, they're next. So that's what's in my head. This is why I fight so viciously when I'm defending myself. And I teach anyone that I'm teaching, I teach them the same thing. Do not worry about the other person. They're not worried about you. Get through the situation. If you can get away without hurting anyone, wonderful. But if you have to take take it so far that the person will be injured because they will not stop, they're not communicating, and you've tried everything and they're still out of control, then you have to do what you can do, and you shouldn't be pausing at that point. You shouldn't be giving them another chance and another chance. So maybe they will fine. No, if they should be put down. If they're going to act like a dog, they should be put down like a dog done. But like I say to my students, get it done, get yourself out of the situation and sort it out in court later. That's what I tell them. So to any person out there that's thinking of bringing out a knife to someone on the street, that they might use it to either bully, to intimidate, or to hurt, or to defend themselves even, because bullies have issues that they need to sort out, and they're doing a short and easy route of protecting themselves by grabbing a kitchen knife or something else, and then just getting ready for the fatal attack because they're around people that, you know, want to involve them in their situation. But I tell them all the same thing: be ready to reap the whirlwind. You will choose the wrong one day, and the wrong one will be someone I've trained. So get ready for that. I mean, there's only two routes after you pick up a knife. One is death and one is prison. So get used to that fact too. Prisons need to be a bit more harsher to me, and sentences need to be a bit more harsher. If you think about, oh, do you like murder? Do you like when your family is murdered? Do you like when someone steals something from you and you can't get it back from them? Do you like being raped? Do you think about them, those kind of things? You think, yeah, send them to jail, bury them under the jail. You know, yeah, send them to life forever. They killed my daughter. They stole my life savings. I was saving to sort out my granny's illness. Yeah, get them. You know what I mean? You don't think about that when you're defending yourself. You don't think about their prison sentence or what there's going to happen afterwards. You just want them gone. You don't want to rehabilitate it. You know, some people think rehabilitation is going to stop another person on the street from stabbing. They say, oh, they're going to get rehabilitated if I kill this geezer that I don't like. Fine. I'll stay in prison, get 3 meals a day. It's not a deterrent. Deterrence should be harsh and you know, shock and awe. There should be, how much years am I getting for holding this knife? 25 years just for holding a knife. Yeah, it might stop it. But the thing is, like I said before, this stuff comes from America. America got police gun laws that you're allowed to carry a gun to protect yourself, because over there they've had guns from the beginning of time and they've still got guns. So they need to get more laws to control the person that's carrying the gun. Because just like when you're carrying a knife, the most dangerous thing is the person carrying the knife, not the knife. If you let go of the knife is nothing but an implement for cutting bread. But if you pick up the knife, now you can slice off about 10 people that you don't like, because your mind is not right. So we have to sort out the problem. And what Idris Elba is doing is trying to get the government to find some way of attacking the children's mindset. And that's what we do at the CDMA. We deal with mentoring, coaching, We deal with mediation, meditation. We deal with mind, body, and spirit cultivation. We deal with raising confidence and self-esteem to defeat fear and doubt, which is what go towards bullying and being bullied. And we feel that once you create a warrior mindset in a child, that child is going to be a benefit to the community, not a burden. What do you think of Idris Elba's commitment to the knife control? Do you think he would make any changes to what's going on now, or does he need to involve a deeper aspect of having police laws be raised or something like that? That's the question. The mics are open. Let's have it. What do you think, Zach?
I think, yeah, well said.
Thanks.
To be honest with you, it's a tough one, because I think some people, a friend I was speaking to today, I asked him that question, the classic question, kind of what you're talking about with, do you think, well, do you ask him, do you think the death penalty should be brought back into this country? And he turned to me and he was serious face. He went, yeah, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, straight away, no second thought. And I don't know, I think...
What's the rest of that line? Eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth.
I don't actually know.
Leaves everybody
I just know
blind.
that... Oh, okay. Makes sense. Yeah,
Leaves everybody
that's
blind. so you know, maybe it's not all the time. And again, when you got the most harshest countries out there that say, yeah, we still got the death penalty, we'll cut your head off, we'll do this, that, and the other, we'll hung, drawn, quarter you, we'll hang you, we'll throw you off a rooftop with stuff holding onto your testicles, and so they ripped off as you die. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And people still commit murder. People still commit murder.
Yeah, that's the bit I was going to come to next.
When you're in the thick of it, you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't think about court.
In the heat of the moment,
you don't care.
People say see red. I've never, personally, I've never been that.
Have you got children?
No, I don't. I'm actually...
Let's do a thought experiment. Let's do a thought experiment. You've got a 5-year-old. You've got a 5-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And you come home and you find this man raping your 5-year-old daughter. Right? You see, in the middle of it, he goes, hold on, mate, you can go next if you want. And you're enraged. You what's the first thing you see? You're laughing right now because you're thinking about the most heinous thing you could do.
You didn't even need to say that extra line.
You don't need to. I'm harsh and cruel.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it's funny. I'll be honest with you. As you asked that question, I instantly, in my head, my human nature, and
there you go.
I'm just being totally honest with you. I thought
instantly,
I pictured it in my head. Yeah, and I pictured the knife being there, and I'm grabbing it and instantly going for his face, a crucial area. Yeah, because I want to kill him.
Picture number one: he's dead today. This is his last day on earth. And
he's a dead man.
Yeah, total dead.
He's a dead man. That's
absolutely dead man.
Yeah, yeah.
But now let me give you another line from this story. Why aren't you thinking of your daughter?
Yeah. Because
why aren't you
I feel like she's been
Get
violated.
Away from my daughter. I want to see if she's safe. Blah, blah, blah. Make sure she's safe, and then call the police and then get you arrested and have proper justice served upon you. That's what should happen, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or where you just want to kill this guy still, or what's going on?
I think
you're not thinking. You don't.
You
weren't there to protect your child. You weren't there on time. You're angry.
So you feel like she's been violated. So you're just like,
she's violated. You got to have vengeance. Blah blah blah.
That's it. Vengeance.
If someone did do that and say, get away from my child, get her safe, then go back, get the man arrested and put him through, I'll be thinking, why are you killing him? What's going on? What's wrong with you? Kill him. But there's people like that around on the planet because they got they got better values maybe than me. They got better values. They got a different set of ways. They understand the judicial system is there for a reason. Blah blah blah. I bow down to them people that can do that. Not me. I ain't made of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like, when you're defending yourself against someone that's crazed, and when you're attacking someone because you're crazed, the end result is the same. Someone going to die. When you bring out a knife, someone's getting cut or stabbed or slashed. When you bring out a bat, someone's getting clubbed. They're getting meleeed. They're getting it. Someone's getting their brain smashed in or bones broken.
Unless they do you believe that, like?
Why do you keep saying believe?
Yeah, why do I keep saying that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Do I know or not? That's leading me on to my next subject in a minute. Actually, I've only got a minute.
No, that's good.
Can I just quickly say something?
That's good.
And it's about a knife crime. So I don't agree with carrying knives, yeah. However, I don't know if you guys saw I think it was a post on Instagram where this guy was in this takeaway shop with, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his mum. Two guys come in with knives this long to get the guy, to kill him. However, the guy actually had a knife on him. And that knife that he took out to defend himself actually saved him. Because if he didn't have the knife, he would have died. Because both of them were trying, do you get what I mean? But it was like that. Yeah. And then, so you got to think like, because I always thought, no, carrying a knife, that's not worth it, blah, 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 blah. However, on that occasion, he would have died if he didn't have that knife.
Okay, cool. So how long was the knife that he used to defend himself with?
This big.
Big as well?
Yeah.
Big. Was this UK or America?
UK.
Okay, cool. It doesn't matter really about where it is. But the thing is, why is he carrying around a knife that
protection,
long?
Clearly.
Against who?
Whoever's after him. So it must have been
no. Okay, let's do it a bit. Let's do it a bit quick because I like doing thought experiments. It makes people think outside the box more. All right. I'm almost certainly carrying a knife anytime I'm out. Okay. How big is it?
Small.
Why? How did you know that?
Because me is a smart one.
Yeah. Well, why is it a small knife? How do you know it's a small knife? That is because you know me.
Is it?
You know me.
Yeah,
right?
It was easily maybe gotten rid of, easy to carry, easy concealed. Maybe if he's going to do something, you couldn't really see it. If it's that so small, you want to do the most amount of damage.
Faster as well. It's faster to use.
Now, here's the second question. What is a knife for?
To chop up fruit.
Cut what? Chop up fruit, fine. Cut what? People?
No.
Bread?
It's to slice.
Bread.
Wood?
No.
Strip wood?
An axe is used for wood.
No, you don't use a knife for that. I use a knife.
Back in the day, they would have used a knife.
I'll show you right now the knife I used to strip wood with. The
knife
I bring out,
bits. If you're talking for a fire, like small bits.
The knife I'm carrying with me is less than 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. The blade length is less than 3 inches. It's a pen knife. You teach Boy Scouts how to use pen knives. Boy Scouts have to carry their knife with them at all times because it's being prepared. So their knife is for stripping wire, for making knots out, cutting string to make knots and, somewhere to live and blah, blah, blah. They use it as a tool. These people carrying a knife yay big are looking to kill someone, period.
But you say that. What was I doing? When I was... They say, no, sometimes, listen, I'm going to tell you about a time. When I was young, I was really young. I must have been about 6 or 7.
That's young.
And my older brothers sent me up the road and it was dark. I didn't want to go. And it was pitch black. And it was about 400 meters up the road. Let's go up the road and left. And I was so small. And I thought, well, how am I going to protect myself? I went into the kitchen and I got a knife that big and I shoved it down my trousers. Off I went, whatever. I come back I remember saying to my cousin, took the knife out. He's like, "What are you doing with that?" "I'm protecting myself." "Oh, you can't do that, man. You can't do that." And I didn't know the implications, but as a young child, I knew that if anyone tried to grab me or anything, that would protect me.
Okay, cool. So now we got the death sentence, right? We've got hanging. It's legal in England, okay? We hang people. How many people have been hung and then later on you found out, oh, they were innocent. They weren't even there. It's just some idiot that said they were there. And then they got witnesses to back them up.
Don't know.
Like witches back in the day.
Enough. Wow. Okay. So many. So now you're carrying a knife. You get attacked from behind. You whiz round because you're in a heightened state of panic. You whip out your knife and stab him in the stomach. Oh, it's you, Father Brown. You just coming to protect me, to bring me home. I didn't know it was you. Oh, you're dying now. Damn shame. Okay. Don't tell me it can't happen, because it's happened a million times. I can tell you situations where people have defended themselves first and then found out later they did too much. So now let me ask you this: why didn't, instead of taking a knife, you took the rolling pin at the kitchen? You could club someone, you can block their hand and let them drop their knife. You could do all kinds of things with a rolling pin. Why don't you think about taking a rolling pin? Why do you think about taking something that can end life?
When I was little.
Well, you know, I'm asking
Yeah,
a question.
I didn't think. You don't think.
Yeah, but now we're talking about youths, 15, 16 years old, and they're all carrying knives. Why don't they carry around a baton, an extendable baton? Why don't they carry around that?
You can club someone to death. It's more.
Some of these
What do you mean you can club someone to death?
No,
but
these
like,
gang
so I know
guys.
it's obvious, but like,
Oh wow,
it's
okay,
less
you
concealable.
guys need more training. Okay,
No,
okay,
but listen, these gang guys.
Here's my
some of
pen. Here's my pen. Okay, this is the operating length of the blade on my knife. Okay, that I use for cutting fruit and stuff like that. You only need this much of the blade to kill someone. You only need an inch, less than an inch of blade to kill someone. You put it in the wrong place, you're dead. With a rolling pin, I cannot kill you.
Back of the head?
I have to. Oh, you can definitely kill someone with a rolling pin. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I just indiscriminately defend myself by swinging down your arms and legs, I'm not about to cause injury that can lead to death. I might knock you out. I might concuss you. I might crack your skull. But the chances of murdering you, killing you, is very low. So I'm saying, don't bring out the knife unless you mean to kill someone. Okay, a knife that long. Put it that way. When police stop me and they search me and they see that knife, they don't even talk to me. I've gone to places where I've had my shop, my martial arts shop, and I'm selling stuff on the at a tournament or something. I've got all this weaponry in front of me. I told you, Carol, I've got every weapon known to man. Right, so I've got all these weapons in front of me, and the police come up to me and they say, "What's those pens?" Because they've heard me selling pens that have got letter openers in them. Right, and I said, "Oh, they're letter openers." They said they've got knives in them. I goes, "Yeah, they're letter openers." They said, "Oh, that is an offensive weapon." And I go, "No, they didn't even say that. They just said, 'Can we have two, please?' and bought them." They didn't say, "Oh, it's an offensive weapon. You can't have something that's concealed." Blah blah blah. It's a letter opener. You've got a pen. You write a letter. And you might want to write a reply letter to say a letter you just opened up with the pen knife. You see what I mean? But the blade inside is less than 3 inches, so they can't do nothing. So they don't. They just bought them for themselves. I goes to them actually afterwards. I goes, "Don't use it when you're writing out tickets. You might be angry with someone." And they laugh. But not like you guys. You didn't laugh at all. It was a brilliant joke.
Yeah, I want to address
harsh audience, man. You want to address it? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So my perception has always been like knife crime or any kind of crime always tends to happen predominantly in poor areas where people don't have the opportunity, especially youngsters. And there's obviously a psychology with it, right? So what Idris Elba's doing, I don't know what his policies are, but I would say it's definitely a good thing because, if you look at all of the really poor areas in and around Britain,
statistically, I would guess that that's where most of the crimes are taking place, especially knife crimes. So, you know, you have this obviously breeds fear in other people. So generally, people probably carry knives out of fear of what could happen. May
Intimidation.
Happen,
Intimidating a bully or intimidating
Right.
a person you want to rob. But
Right,
it's intimidation.
exactly.
Right. That's why the knives are long.
So,
But at the same
so-
time, you're saying austerity or, you know,
Well,
deprivation, you
well,
know, you're deprived neighborhood or whatever. When you're
Yeah, but-
growing up, when you're
But what
growing
my
up,
point,
and you
hold on, Blacks.
Alright,
The
man.
point I'm leading to is there's a psychology attached to that, right?
Yeah.
So in order to reach people, you have to address that psychology.
As you
And I
might.
think the government should take a lead. So approaching the government about this and coming up with a methodology, I think, is a good way, because you need to address that psychology and address it from early, from really early. So from when they're young in school, before they leave school,
Yes.
start addressing these issues, especially in those areas. But
Yeah.
obviously, you obviously want to provide opportunities in those areas for those
Did,
youths as well.
did you not hear anything I said to Zach
Yeah, of course. And so you'll see
about CDMA and?
your CDMA group is
Yeah.
definitely on the right lines.
Okay, cool.
Definitely. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I thought you missed the.
So that's definitely, again, it goes hand in hand with what Idris Elba's doing. It's not
Mindset.
You know what I mean?
Something should be done about the mindset, right?
Right. Exactly. Definitely.
Then
Yeah.
you won't have to carry the knife in the first place because you'd be a warrior.
Right. Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know what I mean? You don't need a knife to prove that you're a warrior. You just walk the street and deal with anything.
That's why you should do more boxing and stuff like that. You know what I rate about those travelers, yeah? Because I've like, you know, I know one or two, and they're all about the whole, you know, they'll have a dispute, and first it will be quite, you know, intense, and it might lead to like firearm intimidation and that, like shooting places and stuff, but they'll
But they like having
have an
settlers.
agreement.
They like having settlers, don't they? Little,
That's what I was about to say. Exactly that. And the man will get a bit of a pasting, and he'll get to the point where he's like, you know what, fair enough. And I watched a video recently, my friend showed me, and they shook hands.
Yeah.
They shook hands at the end, and I thought, fair enough.
But that's that's the old ways. They're respectable. That's fine. That's their way.
They went from wanting to.
Everyone understood that no one's going to die that day. They'll have a good knocking about. Well, you know, that's their way of sorting out disputes. That's fair enough. But these days, these youths, they ain't got that kind of patience
mentality
to be exactly. Patience. They say, no, my man is around the corner now. I might see him tonight. I ain't got no time to learn boxing. I ain't got no time to learn kung fu. I ain't got no time to learn jiu-jitsu. That's not going to help me with this geezer. I need to deal with him now. I need to carry a knife because I'm scared. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the easiest thing to do. This is what Caroline was saying. But she was a youth. She just did the first thing. The easiest thing to do is to draw a knife and carry it with you. Simple thing. Simple. You know what I'm saying? So later on, when I started teaching myself martial arts, even before that, when I was just learning martial arts, and you started to learn how to control yourself and how to use weaponry, how to use all the nunchucks and everything like that, even though you're never going to carry nunchucks on the street, you understood that if the opponent came at you with a weapon and you managed to disarm and pick up the weapon, you were able to use it. You wouldn't get killed because you couldn't even use it, right? So when you get to that point, you start thinking, I'm far too dangerous a person to be carrying around a big ass blade, because if I've got no mental control or the ability to reason, I'm going to be taking this out to sort out people. Yeah. Every little dispute is going to be a problem. The granny pushes in front of me at the post office. Oh, you're getting the swords through your neck. You know what I'm saying? It can't be done like that. You got to be thinking, control, chill. I know you're thinking you want to do, but, you know, this is a granny, man. It's someone's mum. Someone's mum's mum.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to be thinking about control more than anything else. When you're a martial artist, it's all about self-control.
Do you think like the
That's why I think it should be taught to all children.
I agree. And it's like how to make a fire. You teach them how to make a fire, and you teach them You can also get burnt with that fire, and that fire can burn you,
Yeah.
and it can also kill.
Knives are about life and death. Everyone knows this.
It gives you, the fire can keep you warm at night. You take them out in the
cut
cold,
wood and
show 'em,
keep you alive, or you can
and you
stab
can
up
cook
someone
with that
easily.
fire.
Yeah.
But you
Right.
can also set.
Karen?
Go on. No, I was just saying. I was just finishing saying.
You're
You know,
philosophizing over the fire.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. But
Absolutely.
with the one last thing before we go on to the next thing is about the sentences. You think they should be obviously harsher, or
The sentences.
yeah?
Well,
Because like
the first thing I said was
25
like
years for
we
carrying.
hanged people in the past and found out they were innocent. So to just
Yeah.
say, right, everyone that carries a knife should get 25-year sentence. You got longer to rehabilitate them, but is it really going to solve the problem? Because the person that's coming up behind that person that's been sent to jail for 25 years for carrying a knife doesn't think about it in the height of the moment. I'm going to get 25 years for this. They just think
Yeah.
about saving their life, you know what I'm saying, or defending himself, or just intimidating someone for carrying a knife. They're getting 25 years for it. You know what I mean? So it's difficult that way. What I try to do is to solve it from before they get to have the choice of carrying a knife or not. I want to give them the strength to make the right choice. I want to give them the mindset that says they don't need to carry a knife to sort this problem out. I want to give them the mindset that say they want to sort it out with the person, sort out the problem that caused this issue. You know what I'm saying? Because most being on the door, like I said before, for so many years, I see so many fights over something so stupid.
Yeah.
You either
He was looking at my bird.
You either
Yeah.
wow. You either laugh out loud at them, like, really? You're gonna fight for that? Or you just say, bruh, I ain't calling the police for this. I ain't calling that ambulance for you. If you get hurt right now because of this bullshit, I'm calling anyone for you. You tell them that, and they're just like, you know what? I mean, if you're not going to call me, I might get hurt, or my friend might get hurt. You can call them because, okay, right. Think about it for a second. I've got a chance to talk more crap to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather talk and talk and talk and talk you out of fighting rather than just punch you in the nose and take you out the back room. You know what I'm saying? It's just, these people will start a fight over absolutely nothing because they ain't got the mindset. Anyway, I have to get on to Sparks It Off because we're past 10 and I wanted to keep it a couple of hours long. So what sparks me off? Today, on my 390th show, today's what sparks me off is people who do not change their minds even after completely getting all the facts. They still rigidly stick to their guns just because they cannot stand the fact they've been proven wrong. All right. So I meet people like this at all moments of time. So let's just give you an analogy here. 1 + 1 is 3. What are you thinking now? What are you thinking right now? You're thinking, you're wrong, man. Now 1 + 1 is 3. I went to college, university. I studied with the masters. I know all about this stuff. It's called mathematics. You probably never went to school, so you probably don't understand what I'm actually saying here is science. You don't get it. Yeah, but you're basically wrong. 1 + 1 is 2. You know that, right? No. I thought with a different kind of philosophy, science philosophy, and they told me 1 + 1 can be 3. Sometimes 1 + 1 could be 1. I go, really? How does that work? Oh, well, you get one man and one woman, and when they marry, they are one. You see what I did there? And then you just go, come on, man. Are you on this philosophy thing, or are you actually talking facts? If you want to make an analogy, you can say 1 + 1 + 1 = 1 because you've got the triune God. So that's 3 people in 1. You could say you got ice, water, and steam. That's 3 states of water. So you could say there's 3 in 1. There's still water. It's still one thing, right? So you could go as crazy as you want with this, but when you're basically saying you've got one thing here and another thing here, you've got 2 things. And they're like, yeah, but 1 + 1 is 3. How? Because I'm thinking of it a different angle, man. I'm thinking, yeah, but I don't care about that. We both agree we're just adding two things together and it makes three. Now, obviously, this is a simplistic way of explaining what my gripe is with people who will not change their mind. It could be talking about any subject, right? But as soon as you get the facts, you should have understanding that you're wrong, you were taught different, and that was incorrect, and you should now change your mind now. Now all the facts have been brought, but they don't do it. And it's a simple fact that the people that taught them that wrong way have something to lose. They always have something to lose. And so they teach, what is it? Artificial facts? All right, so this is my gripe. Does anyone have this kind of gripe outside of me? Let's chat.
Can I just say, you know, you've got, I just don't know how to turn on my camera because this.
Press the button.
Turn on the camera. You have trouble
on the
with
screen.
it all night. Is Paul still there?
It's just ready.
Oh no, Paul.
You tap it and it pops up.
There we go.
Okay.
But like, well, it's just like this. I see myself. Can you see me? Yeah.
Yes.
So you know, like you've got these things where people say are facts, right? However,
Okay.
you know, there was things just with the COVID, you know, it was fact.
Oh right.
That, you know, if you take the vaccine, this will happen and this will help you, and it's a fact this, and now they've got fact checkers telling you that the information that you got is wrong, and they can subdue your mind. So really, a fact can be molded to what anyone thinks, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
If we're going by the dictionary definition of a fact, it is the truth after the
Yeah, but some
evidence.
people are trying to conceal the truth.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But we're just talking about a
fact.
dictionary definition at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the facts are just what is it? You got subjective, and you got objective. Okay,
Yeah.
Objective is just the truth with no one's input on it. It doesn't make a difference what you think. That's the truth.
But your
there we go.
But your
We go back to the pen. My wonderful pen here. When I let go of this, what's going to happen?
It will fall.
Why?
Because it's gravity.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We all agree it's going to fall. It's not going to float away. It's not going to go in different squiggly directions. Will go. Now we can say gravity is acting upon it, so it's pushing it down, or we can say gravity is acting upon it, so it's being pulled down, or we can even say God is pushing down on it. Somewhere spiritual, okay? We could say that. But what we won't say, none of us will say, is going to float off in the direction. None of us, unless we're in space. You see what I'm saying? So that is a objective fact. That's a fact. It's going to drop. Everyone knows it's going to drop. We expect it to drop. When it don't drop, something else is acting upon it to make it float, to make it fly off in a direction. Maybe I'm actually upside down at the point I left it, and so it looks like I'm upright, but when I let it goes up because I'm actually upside down. That could happen. Yes, bye.
So that example is one of few examples that can be a fact. There are very few absolutes. Most, majority of things are relative, right? So
yeah, but facts don't care about your feelings.
To have a provable fact is very difficult, even in science. And as you know, discoveries are made all the time.
No. You said something absolutely wrong just then. You said that absolutely wrong. Retract that. Retract that statement. That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
The point I'm saying.
Okay, what's a theory to you? What's a theory to you?
Can be changed.
No, what's a theory?
Sorry?
What's a theory?
I'm not talking about science. Well, okay, all right, scientific theory. Okay.
No. I didn't say scientific theory. I said, what's a theory?
Okay. Theory is not a fact. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's a fact in scientific theory? What's scientific theory? Isn't it the absolute what's going to happen based on 1,000 different experiments that had the same result?
Right.
That's
based on
now
the
a scientific theory. It's the closest
Yeah.
thing to the absolute truth.
Right.
Until some other scientist comes along and brings
my
a
point.
modicum of whatever and proves me wrong, then
that's
we
my
go by
point.
that theory.
But that's why I said there's very few absolutes, because there's always new discoveries.
No,
right?
no. The thing with theory, scientific theory is, if you've found something out, like gravity or something like that, it doesn't matter what the new scientist says. Oh, it's not actually God pushing it down. It will not change the absolute truth of the matter that it's going to fall. The penny's going to fall when I let go of it. We can always say, no, I've proven it can never be God. Oh, I've proven it can never be something pulling it down. Oh, I've proven it can never be something pushing it down. But it is still going to go down because it's law of gravity.
Law of physics.
Law of
It's
physics.
magnetism.
Law of physics.
Magnetic field.
I care about magnetic theory in this regard.
Hold on, Black.
You're just trying to be.
You got
Hold on,
to
Black.
blame.
Yeah.
I am.
Let's
You got to blame Sir Isaac Newton. That's who you got to blame with the apple.
But
he didn't have an apple. Oh my God! Okay.
Hold on,
on his head.
Go there.
He didn't have an apple that fell on his head. That's.
You think?
Go all over the place. Let's stick to the context. Blacks. In our general
have you got a mic problem, bro? Have you got a mic? Can everyone hear Paul?
No,
Yeah, I can hear him.
Sounds like he's across the room.
Hello.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Don't
Can hear you, bro. It's cool.
stop being so close, man. It's scary, man.
The general conversations we have daily is not generally of a deep scientific source, is it? So, what you're giving your example, you know what I mean? The debates we're having, there's always going to be disagreements.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, I'm talking about facts, the FAX.
Yeah. All right. So, give me an example, a real example of a debate you've had.
A debate?
Where you thought you had the facts. As far as you was concerned, it was facts.
That we've been to the moon. He believes we've gone to the moon, this one. He believes the world is round and we've gone to the moon.
I don't believe anything.
Example where you've got a provable fact.
I'm telling you right now, Caroline, I don't believe in anything.
Give me an example of a provable fact.
I either know it or I don't know it.
So how do you know that we've been to the moon?
There's no belief.
How do you know that we've
I
been to
told
the
you
moon?
about my scenario of I believe the bus will come because I see the timetable and buses have been arriving. I have faith my bus will arrive on time because the buses are arriving on time. They're just not my bus. And when I'm in the bus that arrives on the timetable, I can now get in a bus and know buses exist and my bus exists. So belief is, again, you know what I mean? When he's talking about Paul's thing, he's talking about subjectivity until proved absolute guilty. This is the truth, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm talking about with people who will never change their mind once they've got all the facts. That's what the gripe is about. I'm not talking about people who have a newfangled way of saying they're still correct after the facts have arrived. Because everyone's got an analogy to make, everyone's got a scenario they can come up with, what if to talk about. And I always say to them people, after you say the word if, I can safely ignore everything that comes after it. Because it's not the facts. It hasn't happened. What if Jupiter crashed into the sun? What would happen? I don't care. You said if.
Listen, how about the scenario, right?
Yeah.
So you know
why I'm vexed with these people, right?
Can I give you?
I mean, sorry. What I would say is what upsets me is people who have a belief and try to pass it off as a fact. Sorry, Caroline.
Yeah, I've done that one. I've done that one before. This is a pet peeve of mine. It sparks me off. It gets me vexed, basically. So this is.
Caroline was going to come in. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, so I was just going to say this, right? So, where is everyone on myself? I just don't get it.
Oh, you want?
Can you see me?
Everyone's here. I can see all four of you now.
I'm here.
Yeah, so I can tell you, it's a fact, right? That lavender essential oils will stop third-degree burns. Yeah, because I have because I have tried it myself. But if
Cool.
you go look on the internet, it won't tell you that it's a fact. But I know it's a fact.
No, the thing with the internet, right? It will say it just brings reports on findings. It doesn't
Yeah.
state absolute facts all the time.
Okay,
Because
but
people have to implement the knowledge into the internet,
brilliant.
and they can be wrong.
However, I'm telling you, it's a fact.
But
But
when science has taken on the problem of finding out if lavender oil cures
No, but I'm
burn
telling
pain.
you it is, because I've tried it.
That's
It's a fact.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. I believe you, right? So what I'm saying is that if science has taken on that to find out that test, the hypothesis that does it, and they've found it to be real, and it's gone through peer review, and it's gone through this, that, and the other.
But it doesn't need to go through peer review.
That's fine. That's fine. That's good enough for you, but it's not for me. So I go on there
But
and
why?
I say, "Oh, it does work.
Why?
I will use it. I will use it." Okay. But when I go onto it, it says lavender oil might do this. So it's been found that some people have been cured because of lavender oil. It's found that some people, when they're using lavender oil, nothing changed. I might not use it. I might not use it.
So then why? This is
But
what I
if
don't
you
understand.
said to me, it does work, and I trust you because of other things you've told me about that are real, I'm more likely to believe you. You see what I'm saying? But I still don't know it's a fact until I try it on myself, and it works 100% of the time, all the time.
But hearing it, you have a greater trust in science.
Yes, absolutely.
But how do you know these scientists, have not been paid off to make out that they are facts?
I don't care what you think could be happening.
Oh,
Is it actually happening? Is it actually happening?
Well, yeah.
All the scientists are being paid off because Caroline thinks so.
Listen.
No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, I've got an answer for you, actually. If all scientists...
No.
All scientists, if they're called scientists...
You're a scientist.
Use the scientific method, which means that if you say to... I'm going to hypothesize that I hypothesize as a scientist that I'm going to test the theorem that when I drop the pen, when I let go of the pen, it will always drop 100% of the time. And then you drop it 100% of the time. And then I come in as another scientist and say, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to find out if it's 1,000 times in different scenarios what happens when you let go of the pen. And 1,000 times it happens. And then one time it just floats. I'm going to go, aha! I'll prove you wrong. When the air pressure is so high, the density is so high, it floats for a micron of a second before it hits the ground. Therefore, your theory that it will 100% drop at the same rate is wrong. And then the theories change. You have to restart. The thing is, there's scientists out there that will prove themselves wrong. Even if they got the answer a billion times, they say, nah, what if this, what if that? And they test the theory. And that's why I trust science, because it's always the way we find out about the nature.
Otherwise, you get a fucking electric shock.
Other way.
Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't know. We wouldn't. How do these electricians have to be taught how to not touch?
Bruh, how are you seeing me again?
For me?
Is it science?
With me? Yeah. Look.
Can you see
the way
me?
I see it? Yeah, I can see you.
Is it science doing that?
The way I'm just let me say something. Yeah.
When I switch on Zoom, I expect to see you.
Can you not see me?
Because it's I am seeing you. That's what I'm saying. When you look at me through this screen thing, through the camera, look, I can see you because of science.
In my opinion, okay.
Not because I think it.
Yeah, okay. Because I was thinking, I'm a bit of a wordsmith, so I was thinking you were using the figure of speech, not literally. Sorry. Yeah,
no figures.
Well, went over my head. Yeah, sorry. I'm tired, man. Kaz, allow it.
No, I'm not here for you. I'm tired. That's why I've done it. I'm like, I'm actually tired. Normally I'm by 10. Go
on. So my opinion was that the whole situation with science is that you can't really dispute it when it's just been proven like fact. Like you say, facts don't care about your feelings. And it's like why do people electricians wear certain boots today, like I learned with my friend when I went to work with him? It's because otherwise
we have
you're getting
found that if you touch the wire when it's live, you're going to die because it's got too much
exactly. That's what I was trying to get to. So that was my point. Boom. All right, now I leave my case. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, but not all scientists are right
That's
about
just
electricity.
one.
Oh, I touched the wire then, innit?
Yeah, but listen, you can say all this
Touch the wire.
You can say, how does science explain an object moving without me touching it? What can that be?
Air.
Listen, tapping eyes, you
blew it, so it moved.
I'm talking about in my house. There's not an airflow flowing through. So
so you're going to use a different type of science called voodoo. Voodoo or supernature to say that a spirit acted on it and made it move. Spirit.
I'm asking you, what would it be? You said
it's going to be a scientific problem. It's going to be you give me a scientific problem like that. How did this move without anything touching it?
So there's voodoo.
I'm going to use science to find out why. It could be air pressure. Someone closed the door and the wind gusted in. It could be anything. I don't know. You're shaking your head like it never happened. What the hell? You can't shake your head right now. Well, you can't shake your head, but you can't disallow me. Okay.
How does science explain ghosts? How does science explain?
They don't explain ghosts because they do not exist.
This is what I'm saying.
They do not explain ghosts because ghosts do not exist.
This is where I can't say that.
Cool.
I mean, science can't explain everything.
They're not explaining ghosts. I'm telling you that.
Science
There's no way to test for ghosts because ghosts do not exist. Now, what you can
this is why Victor.
What you can ask me, Caroline, is how does science give you an explanation for an apparition being caught on film, floating in the background and kicking over a table or something?
I'm telling you about
that can be solved too with science.
Duppy.
You know what?
No, there's no Duppy.
I'm just going to be real, yeah. I want to see you.
Damn Duppy. If Duppy is science, then fine, there's Duppy.
Because I believe.
Paul, you're going to say something.
Sorry, yeah, keep doing that.
No,
I'm being
not
rude.
really.
Don't worry about Zach was going to say, man. He's too tired.
Too high. I stopped smoking, man. Come on, bro. I must look like it, but damn, I stopped smoking.
No, you look happy, bro. You look happy. Stop being pessimistic.
It's selective.
Thank you, brother.
Say again?
What
did he say?
I think they're selective.
Who?
Peace, brother. Peace. Selective.
What did you say?
I think selective. I think the way science is reported is selective. Let's put it.
There's something wrong with your mic, man. You think.
Can you hear me?
Because you think.
Can you hear me?
And it agrees with Caroline. Caroline's prepared to go with your thought rather than your knowledge. You have no knowledge.
I know. You're telling me.
So just out of incredulity, you're getting Caroline to agree with you. That is incredible.
I'll give you an example.
You can't argue from a state of incredulity. I can't believe that, blood. Just because you're incredulous about it doesn't mean it's real. Doesn't mean it's actually happening. All scientists are against us finding out real knowledge. Stop pointing your head like that means something. Oh, you're under the influence, bro. You're like this, geez. Come on.
Oh, here's an example, right?
Okay. Not my scientists. They're all up on the up and up. It's your diabolical scientists that want to ruin the world.
When global warming first started kicking off, right? There were some scientists that were
global what?
Global warming.
No such thing.
Right, so
I've actually got no. You call it global warming. That's up to you. But you're wrong. You're technically wrong.
I was farting.
Hold on. Let the man speak.
Right. When this first global warming started kicking off, right?
The fight about global warming?
Court. Let the man speak, please. Let the man speak. Court. Order.
There were very few scientists speaking against global warming and saying there's no such. No, they were basically saying there's no such thing as global warming, or they were saying
cause of the planet warming up is not what the mainstream was explaining was correct, right? So there were scientists against it. Where are they now?
No, no. See what you said. Global warming thing. This was a fight not about the Earth is warming up. It's about the ozone layer being depleted to cause more warming of the Earth because the sun's rays are getting through the canopy that protects us.
Right.
But we're protected by a magnetic field that displaces nearly all the sun's energy, and the stuff that gets through the atmosphere is less harmful to us, even though we've still got UV rays. Now, when you're talking about stuff that's warming up, we've got climate change that's happening because we've got interglacial periods of 12,000 years, and we're coming to a change of one right now. And some people would call it the change from Pisces to Aquarius. Remember that song? Remember that song in the 60s of "This is the dawning of the age." We're moving from Pisces, which is Jesus.
People call that classic.
We're calling Jesus Pisces, and we're moving towards Aquarius, the water bringer. And so we'll be under harmony for the next 12,000 years. No, but we had interglacial periods. This is why we've only got history that comes up to here, and then we could have had Atlanteans. Atlantis could have existed, but they're lost under the glacial period. In the last interglacial period, we got the Grand Canyon, which is literally glaciers moving through the country.
So hold on. Blacks, I love what you're saying. So it's not necessarily down to greenhouse gases. Why we've got climate change?
No, that was the explanation for the term global warming, which has been proven to be a wrong term. The correct term now is climate change, which is totally different from ozone layer problem. That is bullshit.
Okay, so is the climate change down to the greenhouse gases, or is it just a natural cycle?
No, it's a natural cycle.
Right. So what are they reporting in the news scientifically?
No, a lot of stuff that we're doing. Stuff that we're doing is depleting what protects us. And so therefore they're saying, oh, it's the ozone that we create, or the carbon that we create, that is causing the problem to make the world a warmer place. But it's not, it's climate change. We're spinning through the solar system, yo.
On
64,000 miles, a 22-degree axis at 3,000 miles per hour. We're spinning, and we're going at 64,000 miles per hour through the space around the sun that's actually moving 1 million miles a second. And all this shit. So,
do you believe in dinosaurs?
Hold on.
God, with the belief again.
I'm curious. That's why I ask people.
Belief.
I just want to know.
What do you want to know about dinosaurs? What?
Hold on, we didn't finish the last.
If they exist, Paul? All right, let's finish you, Paul. Zach is always interrupts, man. Too much weed to know. Too much weed to know.
So, do you agree with me then that, based on what I said, that the way it's reported is selective, because you may have different theories? No, but you'll have the media go with one particular.
The scientific method was used to debunk the global warming hypothesis. That's what happened. There's a scientist that proved the other scientist that coined the phrase global warming wrong. And so we moved on, and now we feel it's climate change, and everything points to climate change until other scientist comes in and brings in more information that proves the other one wrong. We will continue talking about climate change instead of global warming. I've actually got a page on Facebook called Global Warming is Bullshit, Discuss. Right? And it's all about environment and the animals and, saving the plants and taking care of the planet and blah, 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 and having more respect for the animals and the bees and all that kind of stuff that we're killing off that will really harm us. You know what I'm saying? So, people don't understand about bees, but need to get on board. But you understand what I got a problem with. Science. Science is science, man. Trust science, man. What do you trust over science? God, yeah? Is it God? Is it God, yeah?
It's all right. You can
Something
say,
you
man.
cannot hope
It's
to
what you
prove to
see.
exist.
It's what you see and experience. What you see and experience is what I believe and what is truth.
Okay. So you can't see air, so do you believe it exists?
Well, there's air. The trees move, right? So what is that?
No,
That's crazy,
I
isn't it?
sneezed and made the trees move. It wasn't wind or air. I did that.
Isn't that? But isn't it breath?
I did
It's still
that.
air, isn't it?
No,
It's still
I
air,
did
isn't
that.
it?
No, it's not air. I did that. My
But you have breath.
essence moved it.
Exactly. So within the essence of me is facts.
Whee! Hurting my chest, man. Zach,
Yeah.
you're bursting to say something. Say it, man. Get off your chest, man. Blow out the weed and get it off your chest. Let's go.
Oh man, it's been 2 more days and it's a month, 2 months. Since I stopped smoking. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about here.
Well, I was just playing.
Anyway.
I didn't know you were.
Yeah, it's all right. I know. No, I'm tired. That's
You're
why I
under
look tired. And I'm
absolution,
probably
aren't
asking dumb,
no
being
question is
all
dumb,
over the
man.
place.
Except
Nah,
the
for
one you're
real.
about
I
to
rate
ask.
that, man. That's why I say to people, I love that. That's a true saying. Anyway, yeah, no, I just wanted to hear what you had to say about the dinosaurs because I'm quite
Okay.
curious about that because I forget about them all the time, believe it
You
or
think
not.
they never existed, or you think
No,
that
I
they will
do.
come back, or what?
I think I don't know about coming
Well, what do you think about them, first of
back,
all? Let's do that.
but there's
What's the question? Do I believe they ever existed?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
That's the stupidest question. No, I'm playing. What I was about to say is we've still got prehistoric animals now.
The snakes.
The snakes are one. They're just evolved. They're just evolved dinosaurs, man. You believe
What
in
about
evolution,
wolves?
right? You know about evolution, yeah?
Charles Darwin.
You
I think we have very similar.
Darwin was the start of it. It wasn't the finish of it. He got much more sophisticated after he made his findings.
Similar trait. We have a lot of similar traits to
Darwin was
primates.
more about changes to the species through habitat, for environment. It's just little things, speciation, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, when you look at a chicken today, do you see a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a chicken?
I see a chicken, but I could see
it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex that's evolved to that. When you see a Tyrannosaurus Rex in a museum, 20 feet high, 30 feet high, massive 6-inch teeth, little hands like this, in the Jurassic Park and all that, I see a chicken today because it's evolved to that.
Oh, I don't believe this evolving nonsense.
That's all right. That's okay.
Okay, that's fair enough.
You know what I mean? But what you can't call it is nonsense. Because it's actually getting taught in school, so you can't call it nonsense.
Listen,
or the teachers are teaching nonsense.
Yes,
like
that's
yourself.
exactly right. Nonsense.
Okay, cool.
Complete and utter nonsense.
So evolution doesn't exist or doesn't work, or what?
Are we evolving now? Are we as humans, or are we evolving?
Yeah, we are evolving.
Yes.
What we evolving into? Monkeys? Or are we going to have wings?
No. That's not what evolution is.
We're mentally
That's
evolving.
not what evolution is. You're wrong.
Yeah,
you're talking about the macro. I can explain this to you. I can explain this to you if you want.
Yeah, but can I just quickly say something? Yeah,
but you're talking about changes in humans while we are human. It doesn't go that fast. It takes millions of years to grow another arm out of our neck. And
who said it takes millions? Who told you that? Who's around for millions of years? Take your arm from your head, Yort.
I'm just wiping my eye. It's not about we have to observe it throughout the million years. We have things like, we have things like fossils. We have things like, we could see things in flies because flies only live days. So we can see changes in flies from one thing to another. Evolution. in the macro. You talk about evolution from a whale to a hippo or something like that. That's different. That's over millions of years. And things don't happen overnight. There has to be something in your environment that changes you, or that you grow a longer bill to get into tighter places where food is for millions of years for it to change. Your baby will go a longer bill, and then baby 200 million years later has a longer bill, and that don't happen overnight. There has to be something in your environment that makes you. We have longer fingers. We have taller people. In the times of Anne Boleyn, we were shorter people. If you go to castles right now, you see the door frame. The door frame is that 5'4" or 5, because most people were that high, but now they're 6'6" because most people are 5'10". You see what I'm saying? They're that height so they can safely go under every door frame. When you go into a taller country, they'll have taller doors because they're evolved to have. When you go to pygmies, would they have 8-foot doors? No. You go to a pygmy colony, will they have 8-foot doors to the houses? No. They'll have short doors that your knees won't scratch. That will
Paul, what
scratch
are
your
you
knees.
saying?
Because we evolved due to an environment and food at the time and
Paul,
the place that we're going.
Paul, homie, what you saying? Paul, come in, come in.
Who?
Paul, that's his name, Mr. Bailey.
Paul Bailey. Anyway. Someone, was he
I
trying to
was
come in and
gonna
say something?
I agree, because
Oh,
you
agree
got
with
like
me?
what you got. Yeah, but like then there's like the moments which is a bit interesting. Like, why are the Maasai, the Kenyan tribe, so tall?
Oh, you
And
know
then you
about the
got them.
Maasai.
Yeah, then you got they jumping over fucking 6-foot fucking poles and shit like that.
Yeah, from standing.
Is that evolving, or is that just them?
That's
No,
evolution in their area.
and you're not
When
letting
you
me
go to
finish.
another part of Africa, you got people that don't grow over
Sure,
4
that's
feet
what I was
tall
about to say. They're fucking tiny.
because
But
it's
then in the
different
European
environment.
and Japan, you got them short Asian man who eating and having enough. Well, not all of them, but nah, that's the
Listen,
bullshit.
Yeah, and you
A
go
lot
to
of Asian
Japan.
people are
You go to Japan, and it's normal to have octogenarians in. You know what I mean? 100 octogenarians in the same town. You know what
so
I'm
what
saying?
happened?
In
What happened
England, we all die at 60. You
What
see what I'm
happened to
saying?
me then? Why am I so
Yeah.
tall? Was I a throwback?
You're not tall. My
sorry.
niece is taller than you.
I'm tall for a woman, so your niece is tall
For a
for a woman.
woman, there you go. You're tall for a woman. You're not the whole of womankind.
No, but
And
there's
you're not
yeah,
all
but
born at the same place, and you're not all got the same parent. You've got different parents that have got different things to hand you down in their DNA. My father was tall. My mum was quite tall. I'm tall. Get it? That's how it works.
I'm tall. My sister's small. My other sisters are small,
Doesn't
but I'm tall.
matter. That's just one family in billions. There's 7 billion people on this planet.
Exactly. We're not all the
There's
same.
billions of people on the planet. That's why.
And we're not all the same.
No, we're not all the same. Like you can tell, if I go to Australia and I see Aborigine, I can say I saw an Aborigine, and then you in England can describe an Aborigine for me.
Beautiful and black.
Fine. Now you go to Australia now. No, wait a minute. You go to Sweden now, and I say that I saw a Swedish person. Describe the Swedish person. Are they beautiful and black, are they?
Yeah, beautiful and black, same way.
No,
We're everywhere.
No. I know they're weaker black. Their pigment is weakest because they got very little melanin in their skin, but they're still black people. I would agree with you.
And how do we know
people,
that? Because of science.
Wow!
Oh, Jack, listen,
thanks
you're
for
a
the, thanks
disciple.
for the alley-oop,
You're
man.
a Victor disciple. I've disowned you now.
Wow,
Oh, man.
that's harsh, man. I think I'm gonna have a little cry about that later on.
That's cool.
That's
Who's
hurt
leaving
me.
me to drown?
Just booze me, man. Just boozing me.
Yeah. So with I want to see you have a conversation with and
Don't
I'll
you
look,
say it.
I'm
I
not
got
trying to
no one to
wind you
talk
up.
about what we're talking
I'm
about
not trying-
today. If you want me to see Idris Elba or Rishi Sunak or talk about someone I talked about today, that's fine. But no one in public, man. Don't mention no name. that you need me to talk to. But if it's a famous guy you want me to talk to because it might have some good reasoning, but I've never met the guy you're about to say, so I have no interest in meeting people that have got nothing but argument to bring me.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Okay,
But I find
if
energy.
they're
that
not
would have
going
been
to
a good-
reason, then there's no problem. There's no point in me meeting.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
All
I
right.
feel like
So-
energy is such a good
That's nice. Yeah, like, we could talk before that, and that's cool. But like, I know what you're going to talk about, but I not in my show, man. This is a
Was you going
show.
to say what I thought you was
This is
going
a
to say?
show for the world.
Victor,
It's not
sorry,
just for.
Victor, man.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
All right, fair enough. No problem. We could talk online about that later on, man. We can all talk about anything we want to talk about, but not on my show, man.
All right,
Come
sorry,
on,
Victor.
we're bringing it back. All right, this went across the world. I used to have regular callers in Germany call into the show, man. So, anyway,
Wow.
yeah, it's big. We'll get it back. It's all good. But this has been BLAPPS TARK, Better Living and Positive Propaganda System, talking about real knowledge. We have talked about over here, over there, celebrity and community, and what sparks me off. We talked about Gaza in over there. We talked about Rishi Sunak taking on a new opponent in the next general election, maybe. And we talked about celebrity and community of Idris Elba trying to help out the youth in the knife crime epidemic or endemic, I suppose. And we talked about what sparks me off, which are people that will not change no matter what facts they are given. That is it. Till next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, same time, same place on this Zoom panel. It will be more sophisticated looking next week. I'll have better technology going on, but I'm just back using the new laptop and it's very strange right now. Well, I thank everyone that coming in, people that watched that we can't see. And also you can catch the recording on YouTube. I'm going to upload it, blah, blah, blah. You can talk to me on Sifu_BLAPPS at protonmail.com if you want to bring up anything about what we talked about today. If not, you can catch me on WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitch, Discord. You can catch me on Patreon, and you can catch me on Facebook, all at Sifu_BLAPPS. Every single one of them. It's the same. So, and YouTube, of course, BLAPPS YouTube, BLAPPS, the letter U, the number 2, BLAPPS YouTube on that's the TV channel. That's where you can find all my videos, hundreds and hundreds of videos, everything I do in my life. Have a great one. You have been BLAPPSed, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace. Joel on True, which is Star Trek. That's science. That's Joel on True. Nice one, man. Stick about.
Right.